to local landmarks and learning from new people along the way. He says that he hopes by the time he finishes his journey next year, it'll give him a new outlook on America when he returns to the classroom.
It just might make mine a better informed voice, and at the same time, hopefully it'll make me a better listener as well, you know, because I'll have had a chance uh, to, to listen intently to other people's stories for 365 days.
DeGrasse is a little over a month into his year-long journey, and you can hear more from him about how he hopes this will impact his teaching tonight at 9. But you might have heard the weather radio, the weather radio go off. And for more on that, let's send things over to meteorologist Davion Huggins.
Your Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist Davion Huggins, certified most accurate by Weather Rate.
Yeah, Josh, the weather radio did just go off. We're getting warnings after warnings after warnings, and we're starting to hit that time period where we knew that the atmosphere was going to support some of those storms. So let's get you caught up with the latest details. Obviously, a lot of people outside right now at the Bentonville Square for First Friday, enjoying that where it still is dry for right now. But again, those temperatures as well as those humidity values are well conducive of thunderstorm development, and we're starting to see a lot of that across the coverage area. So we're going to go step by step to give you a radar tour of the best we can of what's going on right now. We're starting to see robust development. That is one of those storms that actually just went severe, and that is portions of Carroll County just to the south and east of Eureka Springs, and that will be something we continue to watch. We're talking base severe thunderstorms with these quarter-sized hail as well as 60-plus mile-per-hour winds that we're continuing to see right now. Again, this is just to the southwest of Green Forest over in Carroll County. It's likely pushing off to the east, I believe, at a very slow pace. A lot of these storms do not have a lot of jet stream energy with them, so they're not moving very fast. This is another storm on our far eastern coverage area over portions of Newton County. This is moving off to the east at about 10 miles per hour. Again, gusty winds upwards of 60-plus miles per hour, as well as quarter-sized hail with that storm as well. We also had a severe thunderstorm that was over in the River Valley. Looks like that warning may have dropped off, but nonetheless very active with showers and thunderstorms likely ongoing. That is a new pop-up shower along this outflow boundary. You see this narrow green line that's stretching from Poto. That will continue to race off to the north and into the northwest, and that could spark new development, and that's exactly what we're seeing over towards Greenwood, over in portions of that would be Sebastian County, just to the north and east of Greenwood. So certainly going to be a little active over the next several hours across the area. We do have that level 1 risk for severe weather, or marginal, but again, damaging winds going to be far and away the greatest concern, frequent lightning as well as small to medium-sized hail. So just make sure you're staying weather aware over the next several hours, especially with this being the Friday into the evening. A lot of families are in town with college students moving in and starting school soon. We also have, of course, a lot of outdoor activities with it being the weekend. Any of those storms could have the potential to produce flash flooding as well across the entire coverage area. And the reason being, we just showed you, those storms are not moving very fast. So anytime you get one of those isolated storms to pop up and just sit over you, that, of course, could exacerbate flash flooding potential. So low-lying areas, make sure you're using caution. Again, tornado threat near zero. We're not really concerned about tornadoes, but of course, never say never. We'll keep a very close eye on the radar for any cell interactions. Large hail up to quarter size, by far and away one of the greatest concerns, as well as damaging winds in excess of 60 to 65 plus miles per hour. So the future chat, we're going to take this as best we can. Obviously, it's not perfect, at least I should say, handling what's going on right now. A lot more shower and thunderstorm activity over portions of the River Valley, not picking up on that. But again, the trend is over the next couple of hours or so, we're going to start to see coverage increase across the entire coverage area with showers and thunderstorms. Any one of those could be pulsing up to severe limits very briefly before dying back down. And again, that will be the name of the game, again, throughout the rest of this Friday evening before this activity begins to move out of our area and wane in the overnight hours and into your early Saturday morning, but could see a lingering shower or two anywhere across the area, especially in the early to mid-morning hours. So that's certainly going to be something we continue to watch here across the area over the next several days. Looks like the remote is having a problem as it continues to try to advance. Just so much going on that the computers are trying to advance. But right now, of course, those rain chances going to continue to drop off as we go throughout the rest of this evening, and that'll be the same story for the River Valley as we continue to track the latest. So just make sure you're staying very weather aware. We are going to be launching a live stream. We actually are launching a live stream here very soon, and we'll be able to give you the latest details on those showers and storms. So over the next several days, get ready to stay active as well as stay hot with those temperatures in the upper 90s. And that's a full look at your Fox 20 forecast. Now we're going to send things over to Picture Nation for your sports.
Davion.
So much going on. It's always hard to launch a live stream and cover severe weather in the middle of newscasts as well.
Wait
because you
until
get,
I show people that Carroll County cell.
yeah, that I mean,
Look at this
Whoa.
beast. Look at how wide it is. That, like Brennan said, that storm just blew up out of nowhere. Mind you, it was building for some time, but like it's so wide that, my goodness, man, you can't even capture the full extent of it.
that is
From
like
the Posey.
that is-
Was it Posey? Yeah, was it Posey camera, man?
that is textbook of what a cumulonimbus looks like. Josh, you want to see? This is a cumulonimbus right here. I'll bring up. What camera is this? This
This is Pinnacle Parkway's
Parkway, so, yeah.
tower. Tried
This-
pulling up benchmark, but the
So
pole
that's a
covers
fully
it.
developed storm.
That is a fully developed storm, and it just went severe. That is the storm over in Carroll County, I believe.
See, that looks cool because I like how it kind of exploded.
Yeah, that's exactly what. That's a big one. Usually they're a little more narrow than that. It's pretty wide, but again, that is textbook cumulonimbus activity.
Man, it's
Very elevated. Yes, yes, it is.
holy anvil. So yeah, I'll start looking at your guys' photos on 479WX here in a second, but just wanting to catch you up with all the latest information while we can. Keeping in mind there are definitely still some shows ongoing, so we're gonna have to get quiet at times, and even if we get quiet, we'll try to continue talking through some of the shows going on, because right now we have Dan at Bentonville right now for First Fridays on the Bentonville Square, so he's taking care of that. And you know, he went live, did the live weather for 5 o'clock, but then after that we kind of had to take over because we're like, oh my goodness, all these storms are pulsing too severe, and now we are looking at the range of that. So let me go ahead and pull up a Mega Doppler real quick to show everyone exactly what is going on. Let's see if the button actually works for me. There we go. Actually, I pulled the wrong thing, so give us 1 second as we try to get ourselves situated here. But yes, there we go. And also let me just turn off the camera real quick so that you guys can see exactly what's going on. But Stream Deck is acting a little slow right now. It's just our Stream
the
Deck.
computers are. It's so
Mind
much
you,
going on.
Josh, he rebooted these earlier, so they should not be doing all that. But there we go. Let's show you exactly what's going on. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. So far, this is the only one.
For the 6, or do you think Dan's still good to do it from out there?
I think keep Dan for the live, but I'll do weather. For
Okay.
the 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So as we were talking there, Davion and Dan are trying to figure out who's going to do the weather for the 6 o'clock show. But this is the only severe thunderstorm warning at the current moment, was the cell we were just looking at in Carroll County. And so we're asking ourselves, what's going on exactly? I'm trying to pull up the information. There we go. So this goes all the way up until 6:30 p.m. The hazards with that: 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. And on top of that, it is moving slow. We're talking 10 miles per hour. And I can show you how slow it's been chugging along. So without a doubt, has been dumping some rain probably over rural and southern portions of Carroll County there. And this cell continues to expand too. Looks like on the backside, another portion of the cell that continues to merge with this parent one on the northeast side of Huntsville as well. And then Jasper did go up to severe thunderstorm warning criteria very briefly, but so no longer the case. We also had another one out towards Waldron that had a severe thunderstorm warning issued with it, but that has also died down. However, keeping in mind, still looking at the potential for heavy rain with these cells. Like, look at that one south of
Heavener, south of Heavener. So I got a question: are these storms heading east or west? So these storms are moving off to the east. The storms off to the north are moving off to the east southeast, and the storms in the river valley, believe it or not, are almost stationary. Some of them are moving very slowly, and you can see the westward extent. So there is what we call an outflow boundary that is racing off to the northwest, heading towards the radar, the Fort Smith area. And in fact, I'll bring up here. I'll go to Weather 2 really quickly and see if I can get a view from that in the show. So so here we go. Stand by here very quickly.
Telling you, Stream Deck is very slow
very
right now, but here we go. Weather 2 is up.
Weather 2. So here's what's going on. Why the storms in the south over in the river valley are moving a little unorthodox right now. You can see this outflow boundary is racing off to the north and west, and it's sparking new development. So over in just to the east of Greenwood, you guys are getting a pretty good downpour. That is a new shower and storm. This will be the name of the game over the next several hours, folks. And a lot of these storms may be able to pulse up to severe limits over the next day. In fact, as I say that, new severe storm, and that is that storm we were just looking at to the south of Heavener. Again, 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as quarter-sized hail over in LaFleur County. So, again, we're back into the newscast, so we have to talk a little bit quieter. We're back into the newscast, so we have to talk a little bit quieter as we continue to track these storms for right now. The next break, we'll be able to talk a little louder, but this is a new severe thunderstorm warning just to the south of Heavener over in LaFleur County. 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as 1 inch in diameter hail. So make sure you're moving things inside if you have any outdoor plans over the next several hours. These storms also do have a lot of lightning with them as well. So just make sure you guys are staying weather aware over the next several minutes. All right, so we're back in the break. Leslie, you're looking at it. Is that Echo Tops?
Yeah, Echo Tops.
So I'll let you take over really
so
quickly.
Before we look a little bit more at that Heavener cell, I definitely want to show everyone the Echo Tops because Brendan mentioned to pull it up. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So as I work with our scenes here, let me just go straight into pulling up Mega Doppler. Give me one quick second. All right, here we go. Look at the Echo Tops on this thing, man. This thing went up to, Brendan, I think you said about 58,000 feet. Dude, these are the type of levels we look at when we're looking at supercells, and this is not even the case. Thankfully, we don't have a lot of shear available for these storms to tap into, but if we had shear in any of this situation right now, man, it would have been a concern, but nonetheless, what a major, big cell, to say the least. And there you go. You can see development on the back end of this parent cell just north of Marble as well. Now let's go ahead and look at the Heavener cell, and let me go ahead and switch on over to the Fort Smith radar so that we can get a better look at Heavener right now. So as we do the switch, there we go. We can see it in much clearer detail, and it looks like from both Tulsa and Fort Smith, it's kind of reading up to about nickel size, but as we can see beforehand, it was definitely up to quarter size. So it looks like it has already dropped some of that hail by the looks of it, but nonetheless, heavy rain is going to be the next big concern with these cells as well.
Yeah, so I'm back figuring some things out for the show. We're about a minute out until we do our final forecast, so I'll be on TV yet again. This is frozen. I mean, these computers are just
very slow. Mega Doppler was acting very slow for me too. So let me go ahead.
Honestly,
and there we go.
Can you just provide the radar tour on Mega Doppler? Because
yes,
Max 2 it's just acting up. Yeah.
So just give us one quick second, guys. Rogers, there's nothing right now. We'll go over future track in a second.
I'll be on the wall actually at first, and then walk there.
Okay.
30 seconds out.
We still got some time.
What direction?
All right, stand by, everyone.
How fast is this moving?
Which one?
A lot of shower and thunderstorm activity going on right now here across northwest Arkansas and in the River Valley. So let's get right to it. We have this new severe thunderstorm warning just to the south of Heavener. And this is going to be in LaFleur County for our friends along and south of Interstate 40. We work our way up. We're seeing more development as well all along Interstate 40. We also have this severe thunderstorm warning again for portions of far northeastern Madison County as well as into southern Carroll County. This storm is likely putting down some pretty notable sized hail. In fact, right around quarter-inch sized hail, 1 inch in diameter. That is base severe limits. We also have another cell that's firing off over towards eastern of Jasper that was severe warned. However, that has no longer met severe criteria, although it is still a pretty decent and notable thunderstorm. And we're also starting to see more development over towards Harrison as well. So again, this will continue to be the name of the game over the next several hours as we continue to track a lot of these storms in and around our coverage area. And that is really, Josh, going to be, again, the name of the game over the next several hours here in Northwest Arkansas. So a pretty stormy Friday evening for us here as we close out our work week. Unfortunately, it looks like those storms may impact some of your outdoor plans this evening, but tomorrow won't be nearly as bad. We'll be cranking up the thermostat, though, as those temperatures climb into the mid and even upper 90s, especially on the latter half of the weekend and into early next week. Rain chances will be at a minimal, and then the heat will just bake, and bake. But those storms will return and may try to cool us off as we head towards the latter half of next week. Still a question mark depending on how well that upper level ridge sets up. But for the River Valley, I mean, you guys have.
They are used to it, and I feel bad saying that because
I know, right? And honestly speaking, I said it yesterday. The River Valley, unfortunately, are used to it. They're also used to a little worse. Those temperatures in the River Valley, believe it or not, pretty tame for summertime.
Compared to 2011, I know Dan brought that up last week, and I can't even imagine dealing with 100. You can keep that, Mother Nature. We'll have much more news and weather coming up tonight at 9.
Okay, everyone, so we're about to switch on over to the 6 o'clock show, so you're going to be back on for that. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth between us and the newscasts all the way up until 6:30, and then we'll get a little bit of a break before the 7 o'clock newscast. But at the current moment, we're tracking some storms, and right now, at the moment, let's just say we are now casting. If we show any future tracks, I'll leave it up to Davion because it's going to take a little bit of time to go through the future tracks, given he's doing the live stream, and we're cutting between the live stream and the show. So wait, I would say another additional 15 minutes or so, but nonetheless, you're going to be covering, and we're now casting at this given point. But we know an outflow boundary has been kicking off some of the storms, especially down in the River Valley region. And on top of that, still seeing that severe thunderstorm warning in Carroll County. So let me go back on to Mega Doppler real quick to show everyone exactly what I'm talking about. Here we go. Matter of fact, yes, so here's what's going on with Mega Doppler, and as you can see, we have this severe thunderstorm warning, and even on the back end, there you go, that development north of Marble is beginning to increase in size nonetheless, so we're probably going to be seeing additional hail from that. Look at that hen egg. It's Davion. This is showing closer to hen egg now.
Is that?
This is north of Marble.
Yeah, we might need to. I don't like that.
If it goes closer to
softball, that might be.
If we go closer to softball, then that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. But just letting everyone know, north of Marble, you could expect to see some damage to property if this comes to fruition. And right now I'm looking at the Huntsville Airport camera. And let's go ahead and look at that real quick. So right now I'm switching between Stream Deck and trying to pull up some of our cameras right now. So give me one quick second as I pull that up.
Leslie, do you mind showing that on Mega Doppler?
Yeah, I'll show it.
Yeah. So we're about 30 out.
There we go. Look at all the rain right now from Huntsville.
Yeah. 15. Man, that was a fast 30 seconds. All right.
We'll look at the additional counties when we have the time, but right now we do not. We are taking care of what we can
prime time
with the
shows,
shows.
man.
Yeah. Man.
Your Forecast First is sponsored by George's Heating and Air.
No doubt about it, it's going to be an active evening here for your Weather Authority team over the next several hours, as well as, of course, for you guys over in Northwest Arkansas. Live look at the Bentonville Square, where things are still very dry, thankfully, as the outdoor plans are full and underway. That's first Friday. Temperatures in the low to mid 90s all across the viewing area, but let's get right to it. We have some very strong storms that are beginning to blow up across portions of the coverage area. This is just north of Marble. This severe thunderstorm warning has my eye as the hail size in this is really starting to grow. You can see Mega Doppler picking up on at least hen egg and even potentially near baseball size with that storm. That is something we'll have to watch very closely. That severe thunderstorm warning, 60+ mile-per-hour winds also being driven by that. Further down south in the River Valley, lots of numerous showers and thunderstorms in and around Logan, Scott, as well as portions of Sebastian County. And then in LaFleur County, another severe thunderstorm warning, base size. It looked a little stronger the last few scans, but that certainly could be a potential as we continue to track these storms. So showers and thunderstorms will continue to blow up over the next several hours, and we're tracking those live on stream right now. But of course, we'll have your full weather forecast in less than 10 minutes. But for now, your 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Well, a now former Arkansas lawmaker accused of repeated domestic abuse remains on a local ballot for county judge. Now at 6 o'clock, a closer look at a quickly approaching deadline for his name to be removed from the November election.
When other states call for assistance, we've got people that are trained and ready to go.
And neighbors helping neighbors, but these guys traveled hundreds of miles during.
So there is a considerable tag right now on that cell north of Marble. Let's see what it's reading as. So they don't even have it moving at all. It just says nearly stationary. Golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Golf ball size.
Can we see this from Harrison? Can we see this from Harrison?
I wouldn't, maybe from Huntsville. I mean, I have it on Huntsville Airport right now.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
All right, new tonight, an important deadline is quickly approaching if a local lawmaker who just resigned after being accused.
So yeah, right now we're still figuring out the shows and what we have right now. Let me go ahead and pull up Mega Doppler on here instead. That way I'm able to switch between the two. There we go. Can see in better detail.
Protection order filed with the courts. She claims the alleged assault that led to McCollum's resignation was not the first. A judge granted her a temporary order of protection through August 25th. And in that order, she claims McCollum threw items at her, beat her with a wire hanger, and restrained her on their bed with his knee to the back of her neck. She also says this incident was a part of a pattern of abuse.
All right, guys, so in case you're wondering what we're looking at right now, Davion's taking care of his forecast at the current moment, so he won't be able to talk much right now as he takes care of that.
McCollum has until August 19th to remove his name to allow the Republican Party to find another person to run for the Benton County Judge.
Many Northwest Arkansas firemen back to work.
All right, guys, give us one quick second. I'll just leave it on Mega Doppler.
is making the most of it. We'll have that story coming up.
Also means football just around the corner. Let's talk Razorbacks.
Big Trail Nation's Hayden Herrera joins us now. Hey there, Hayden.
Hey guys, yeah, fall camp continues on the hill. Practice number 3 wrapped up just a little bit ago. Coming up in your Big Trail Nation report, we'll hear from offensive coordinator Tim Cramsey on the battle for the starting quarterback spot. Tight competition between KJ Jackson and AJ Hill.
And we got a pretty serious storm here moving across portions of our coverage area. This is going to be far northern Madison County as well as southern Carroll County, where there is actually golf ball sized hail falling with this storm. So it is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. We also have a few more severe thunderstorm warnings. We'll go through the entire radar and let you know what else to expect in your full weather forecast in just under 10 minutes.
You're watching KNWA News at
We're going to start this off with a view of this storm that we're watching right now. This is the strongest storm in our coverage area, and this is going to be looking off to the northeast from Huntsville, the Huntsville airport. We're looking off to the northeast over towards a cell that does have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning tag with it. You can see that cloud to ground lightning strike as we're talking. This storm is dropping golf ball sized hail, and it is nearly stationary. So this is certainly going to be a problem for anyone underneath this storm with damage, as well as very heavy rainfall with any stationary storms. And there we see a new severe thunderstorm warning. So of course, we're live on stream. Meteorologist, you can go ahead, Leslie Castro, you can go ahead and click on that and just let's see where this is heading, because we're continuing to track these storms as they continue to push off. Some of these, again, are nearly stationary, so this is becoming problematic for some of our viewer areas across in and around the area. So that's certainly something we'll have to continue to monitor as we continue to get the latest details. Obviously, so many storms that the computers may be running a little slow and just behind schedule. So here's a look at Mega Doppler. This is that storm that we're talking about. Again, this is looking off to the northeast from Huntsville, but we're talking about southern Carroll County and extreme northeastern Madison County. This is the storm that we're watching as well. We're also watching for any cell interactions along that boundary. Over towards our friends in the River Valley, we have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings, all of them in southern LaFleur County, as we continue to see new storms spark up. And again, these are not moving very much as well, almost nearly stationary as they continue to crawl off to the north and east. So again, any one of these storms could be problematic. For most of us across the area, believe it or not, it is still pretty quiet, but again, we are continuing to track the latest. Let's go back to this storm that's considerable. Again, 1.75 inch in diameter hail, as well as 60+ mile per hour winds. So that is enough to warrant a considerable tag from the storm, or the National Weather Service, I should say. And we're also watching for another cell that's just off to its east over towards portions of Boone and Newton County, where it has been raining over the past hour or so. So very busy here in the weather lab with severe thunderstorm warnings. I think this one will be allowed to expire and cropped a little further south with that updraft a little further south than that. And then you'll see that new severe thunderstorm warning. Again, a lot of storms that are firing off over the next hour or so, and this will continue to be the case over the next several hours. And here's something that has my attention very closely. This outflow boundary is actually colliding with another one that you cannot see on this particular radar image, but it will spark new development, I think, within the next couple of minutes. And we're already starting to see some of that over towards Poto. So this area I would be monitoring for shower and thunderstorm development within the next hour or so, as we continue to track these boundaries that continue to race every which way and direction that help aid in sparking new development. So because of that, there is a marginal threat for severe weather all across the entire coverage area, basically, of course, now lasting likely all the way through midnight. Damaging winds, primarily the main concern, but of course, excess hail is going to be well in effect as well as isolated flash flooding. So a lot going on here in the weather lab. Of course, today's stress, no need to run you through this as you've seen it multiple times. Tornadoes not looking likely. As we're talking, we get another severe thunderstorm warning in and around our coverage area. And again, this is a new storm that we're continuing to monitor. You can hear the radio going off behind me. This is Carroll County. This is that storm we were watching just a minute ago. No need to even show you the 7-day forecast, guys. It's going to be active over the next several hours. Temperatures will calm down as we go towards the rest of the overnight period and into tomorrow, and then those temperatures will stay very hot. But again, for right now, we are very locked in here in the weather lab, showing a lot of those storms that continue to pulse up to severe limits, drop back down, and then we'll see a new one right beside it.
So. Right, takes 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
All you have to do is ask the old pickup truck what golf ball size hell will do.
Yeah.
It will do plenty, tornado or not. Right.
Yeah.
Well, sororities at the U of A, it's a high style. They drove to work. They were standing out in the yard in pajamas, shooting another video. Well, they are, of course, prepping for Rest Week. More on the local businesses, giving them the flowers they need to show off their stuff. That's next.
The Pig Trail Nation is sponsored by Crane Automotive Team.
Finally, apologies for the weird storm coverage. Of course, this is prime time within our back-to-back newscast, so we have to talk quiet. Sometimes it's just better to show radio, or I said radio, radar, and not talk just because there's so much going on. But again, a lot of storms that are beginning to fire off in and around our coverage area. The main one, of course, being that storm over in Carroll County, as far northeastern Madison County. Considerable tagged, and it's not moving. That is, I mean, that's just not what you want to see. Golf ball sized hail with these storms. So again, make sure you guys are staying weather aware over the next several hours or so as we continue to track new development as well. In fact, I'll just go ahead and bring up Mega Doppler and just show you guys what's going on as meteorologist Leslie Castro takes a radar tour.
So here's we go. First and foremost, there is another severe thunderstorm warning. This is added on to the Carroll County cell. The Carroll County cell was the one that was producing up to hen egg size earlier, that 2-inch in diameter that we were looking at, and now it's down to still about quarter size. So that's why they've downgraded from a considerable severe thunderstorm warning to just a base severe thunderstorm warning, but that's still in place. They mentioned that these storms have been moving anywhere, or they've been either stationary, but right now with the new severe thunderstorm warning moving at about 5 miles per hour. The hazards with it are ping pong size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Now we still see some heavy rain over Harrison. Matter of fact, we actually lost our Harrison camera, so we can't show you that right now, unfortunately, but we'll show you our Huntsville one once we go back into the shows. And then further down south, we have these severe thunderstorm warnings, and then another, there we go, a new flash flood warning in place for that Carroll County cell. So we'll look at the details and we'll share those details with you once we are out of this incoming newscast. So give us a second, everyone, and I'll probably try to show you some precip accumulation here. So give us one quick second.
area and it's making a beeline for the same areas.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of the same areas as you just alluded to are being hit with nearly stationary storms, which is unfortunate because these storms are considerable, meaning they're dropping golf ball sized hail with this specific cell. You can see Leslie controlling Mega Doppler right now, showing you the hail size. Some of that is starting to come down, but again, I think that cell just to the south of it beginning to pulse up with larger hail size as well. And then a little over towards Harrison, you can see another hail core that's beginning to develop. So certainly a very active weather forecast, or weather pattern, I should say, over the next several hours or so. And in the River Valley, seeing new development as well, another severe thunderstorm warning. So very active across the area. So make sure you guys are staying weather aware.
And you guys are tracking it for us.
We are.
It's the kind of rain we need, just not the way we wanted to
Not
get
the
it.
way we want it, right.
All right. Hey, we'll see you tonight at 10.
Okay, so now let's give everyone a quick rundown of what's happening on Mega Doppler. Now we have 30 minutes until the 7 o'clock show, so this gives us a little bit of time to tell you what's possible between now to the next hour, next few hours. Yep. But let's go ahead and let me just pull up Mega Doppler. I think Mega Doppler, we're going to start from the top in Northwest Arkansas and then work our way down. So our Missouri counties, McDonald, Berry, quiet. Our Oklahoma counties all the way up to LaFleur, quiet. Now let's go ahead, talk about Benton and Washington County. So far there is nothing, but we're keeping in mind an outflow boundary that has been moving through the River Valley that could collide with another outflow boundary, I believe you mentioned, Davion, that could cause some more storms. And let's just say Benton and Washington County are not entirely in the clear just yet. While we look clear right now, these storms have been pulsing like no other. So let's go to Carroll and Madison, Boone, Newton counties. So what we had is this cell that popped up right over Madison, or Carroll actually, worked it, or Madison, between Madison and Carroll basically, and has continued to work its way through southern Carroll. Now the main concern with it was that it was dropping potentially up to golf ball or hen egg size earlier, but the severe thunderstorm warning with the considerable tag was for golf ball size hail. That is still going. It has about 39 seconds remaining before they finally drop off out of this considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Now, on top of that, they have downgraded to a base severe thunderstorm warning right over Marble. However, a lot of this rain and the storm in general has been stationary and falling all over the same spots. So because of that, there is a flash flood warning. Now, as I look through the details, the flash flood warning goes all the way up until 9:15 p.m. They issued this at 6:22 p.m. They mentioned between 1 and 3.5 inches of rain have fallen. And when we looked at it through max, we saw accumulations closer to 5 inches. So something to be very aware of. So there we go. We saw that severe thunderstorm warning get dropped. And so they mentioned flash flood is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. So of course, if you see any hail, if you see any flash flooding, pull it up through, or you could post that on 479WX and we'll actually be able to show those. So we'll try to go through those photos and videos if we get any here in a second, here in just a little bit. Now here's another storm to be concerned about, probably up to quarter size hail by the looks of it, maybe even closer to golf ball. Maybe we could potentially see another severe thunderstorm warning north of Harrison. Unfortunately, I cannot show you our Harrison camera because it has gone through a lot and is finally out. So that's very unfortunate for us, but we are seeing a lot of rain towards Boone County right now. Now, if we work our way, which first of all, along the Boston Mountains, quiet, just absolute quiet, not a single cell over that region.
Yeah, here's what I'll show you really quickly. If you can go to, let's go pull up Max 2.4 very quickly. So I was mentioning this outflow boundary that's continuing to race off to the northwest. Now, this, I do believe, will be a problem for Northwest Arkansas within the next couple of hours. It is starting to spark off new development. That storm that's over towards Poto, that storm was sparked off because of this outflow boundary. There's also another storm that's just to the southwest of Greenwood that was sparked off from this outflow boundary. And this will continue to be the case. You can see south of Ozark, as that outflow boundary moved through, we're starting to see new development. And I think especially once this storm, this outflow boundary, I should say, starts to get over towards the higher terrain areas, we'll see that air be able to rise a lot more comfortably, and that may produce additional showers and storms that will likely pulse up to severe limits, just given the atmosphere that we have in and across our area. So it's very quiet in Northwest Arkansas right now. I'll switch back to Mega Doppler. It's very quiet in Northwest Arkansas for right now, but thankfully it looks like things are, I shouldn't say thankfully, but thankfully it's quiet for right now is what I'm trying to say. But things
Yes.
may uptrend over the next couple
And
of
not
hours.
all storms have been severe warned per
Right.
se. Like you see these cells just south or east of Paris, right over Scranton, Cecil, Charleston, all these places where they have these cells, but not all of them have necessarily pulsed to severe. However, you know, you never know.
And we have Brendan Wilson always in here. I'm getting hail about nickel size, I should say, in 30 plus miles per hour winds, getting quarter sized hail now. So don't go outside and send us that picture until obviously the storms, if you can take it safely from inside, but we want you away, we want you safe before you send in reports. So if you have, obviously where it's quiet in Northwest Arkansas and you guys may see towering clouds, those will be cool to see. But if you're underneath one of these storms, do not risk your safety by sending in our weather reports just yet. Obviously, of course, we want you to use 479WX, but do not compromise your safety for any of the storms that are moving in right now. Just make sure you're being safe and exercising caution. As we're talking, a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just popped up.
So we could expect to see that. There you go.
So
Boone
this
County.
this will be Newton County.
Or
So
Boone.
yeah, Boone County, excuse me, for Harrison. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning, and it is not. It's base severe thunderstorm warning, but the hail size is notably larger than what you would normally see. So we're talking anywhere from about quarter to in
Golf
between
ball,
quarter and golf ball sized hail with 1.25 inches in diameter. Again, this is going to be the name of the game, folks, over the next several hours as we continue to track these storms. And again, most of these storms are nearly stationary, unfortunately. So that just means they're not moving much. And unfortunately, that means some of the same areas that were getting hit yesterday are under the gun again. Now, this storm looks like it does have a little bit of an eastward component, moving east at about 15 miles per hour, at least before it was severe warned. So that's good news. But again, I do think this will be an area that we need to watch closely, especially for the flash flood threat. Of course, we already have one of those warnings out where flash flooding is likely ongoing or imminent. But if you live in low-lying areas, especially since terrain is involved in this specific area, so some of those valleys and crevices in between those higher elevations, you guys may need to think about just getting to higher ground over the next couple of hours. Brendan Wilson, looks like I put a video on 479WX. Awesome. So we'll go ahead and be able to show this for you. Show this really quickly. I mean, this a
Which I
perfect
think the
example.
videos, they still go through a little bit of human moderation.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we won't be able to pull it up right now, but any photos that do go through 479WX, we should be able to pull it up. So there we go. We have a couple of additional ones. Let me see if I can find a new one right
go ahead and
here
boom.
from, but that's earlier from Dan. Let me see this one. There we go, Brendan. I actually do have. So if I go ahead, pull it up right here. Ooh, there you go. The video is actually
second.
loaded up very quickly.
Let me get you on to Mega Doppler
Yes.
here.
So if you just click on here.
Yeah, it was listed as the
Here, I got it.
OBS scenes. All right, Mega Doppler.
Let's go. There we go.
So there we go. So this is obviously, thank you, Brendan Wilson, for sending this in. Yeah, that is a pretty nasty storm, and this is that storm that was considerably tagged not too long ago. So I mean, there you see it, folks. That's how fast we can pull up you guys' reports when it comes to 479WX. So a very useful tool, especially when it comes to severe weather coverage. And this is why we've been working on this nonstop in and around our streams and around our time. I did just notice they actually upped the hail size on this new severe thunderstorm warning as we speak. So it was 1.25 inches in diameter. Now it's being tagged as 1.5 inches in diameter. So again, these storms are some hailers that we're seeing right now. They are putting down some stones, specifically over in portions of Madison, Carroll, and Boone counties, I should say. So again, just make sure you guys are definitely want to move your vehicles inside the garages and protect them.
Yep.
Any outdoor furniture you may have, make sure it's covered or moved inside, or at least just closer to the house, because undoubtedly, amazingly so far, we haven't seen damage reports, but usually you get those after the storm has kind of passed and calmed down. No one's going to report it as of right now. So again, a very active weather pattern we have right now in and across our area. I want to see if we can see anything from any of our cameras, Leslie.
Yes.
I know I just saw you glanced over. As expected.
Harrison is down.
Harrison's down. So
Harrison's down.
And that's a camera that we use a lot. So
that's very unfortunate for us. We have Huntsville that's still going strong.
And that's a telltale sign of just how strong the storms are. You got storms coming down. So here's our Huntsville Airport WeatherBug Network camera. You can see just the orientation of the cell, not shrouded in rain for the camera, but definitely you can see the rain curtain as well as the core of this storm as we look off to the northeast. What camera is that?
This is Posey. This is looking at that same cell, and you
So-
can see how far out this anvil has spread.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pull up Posey Mountain for you guys to see just how large this storm is. I mean, look at that. That anvil has made it
Like
all the way
I'm sure if I were to
Beaver Lake.
if I was able to go outside, I'd be able to see this.
Yeah,
from here, Fayetteville.
That just shows you how large that storm is and how strong that updraft is. So again, make sure you guys are taking a precaution. I know we haven't shown our faces here in quite a bit. There's just so much to show
we're
you.
just trying to catch you guys up on everything you need to know. But
Here's
since
a cool thing I can show you guys.
Mhm.
I put up the hail tracks for that specific storm that we're seeing right now.
Smart.
Let's get a good look at that. Yeah, so over towards Green Forest, we saw maybe 1.5 inches in diameter sized hail. I clicked on this because this was like 2.9, 3.1 inches in diameter to the extreme northeastern Madison County. That's where that would line up exactly
Yeah.
where this storm is.
Now,
So,
granted, some of these can be overdone, so
Right.
we always have to take it with precaution. But nonetheless, you can see exactly where this hail has fallen across between Boone and Carroll counties. Now, I do want to show people real quick the future track because
Yeah.
I know people are asking. We haven't showed it yet this far, unless you've only showed it during your actual
and
shows.
honestly, I didn't even get to the future track in my last two shows just because
of
many
so much going
storms.
on. So here's what the future track is still painting. So it's still painting those storms, and this is expecting that thing to explode over Harrison, which is in another 30 minutes. But I mean, give or take, just take it with a precautionary tale because models are not going to be perfect at any given at any given time, but this is just to give you an idea of what's possible over the next few hours. So we mentioned Northwest Arkansas. It looks clear, it looks fine for the most part, but HRRR is still showing storms to develop heading into this evening around sunset and past sunset, actually. Now, it looks like, again, if you tell me Fayetteville fizzle is exactly what it kind of wants to do all the way up until 10 p.m., but you could see it becomes anywhere from scattered to widespread heading into closer to midnight, matter of fact. And then the storms are expected to move a little bit eastward, and then before they're finally out of the region, closer to 3 in the morning. Now, this is kind of different than what I will say the models have said between yesterday and the day before, because it was showing a complex of storms moving from the north to the south. But now that we have these outflow boundaries in place, that's the thing that was so hard. It's these outflow boundaries, man, they literally dictate everything that's going to happen. And that's when nowcasting becomes the thing. So that's why we're looking at the HRRR models and they're showing these storms popping up, but actual location is something we just need to continue to keep an eye on. But yes, there you go. So Northwest Arkansas, we can't necessarily sleep just yet in case we do see, hailstones and damaging winds, similar to what we saw in the eastern portions of the viewing region. And on top of that, that rain is still going in Marble, man.
Yeah, that was Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff asking me to just loop this video several times because it gets static here, but I think his service is just bad because it's working on our end.
So I'll pull it up real quick.
Yeah, but again, this is the video that we got in from Brendan Wilson showing you 40+ mile per hour winds as well as some hail. It is certainly coming down with this storm over in Madison County. So this was about 9 minutes ago. You can see the time in the corner. This is so useful, and we appreciate you guys for taking the time to send in these reports. But again, that's the name of the game and what we have going on here across Northwest Arkansas as we continue to track the latest. In fact, we'll go to the latest storms. And there you see that is right over southern portions of Marble. So again, these storms are continuing to go up. I do not like that hill core over towards Harrison as well. So it is just a lot going on. We can see, we're getting about quarter size, anywhere from quarter size to golf ball size hail.
But it's not a tiny hill core either.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Look how widespread this is. And of course, when we want the Harrison camera the most, we just don't have it. It is down.
Yeah, it makes sense why it will be down with a storm like this that's been blowing up over the past couple of hours or so. I'm gonna go give a radar tour really quickly. I'll leave the reports on just for now, just because. But again, quiet in Northwest Arkansas for now. You can see that narrow outflow boundary, that narrow green line you see. It is making its way towards southern Washington County, as well as Sequoia. That's also going to be Adair County in the next hour or so, and it may spark new development. Again, further south, thankfully, these storms have been a little more tame in terms of the hail size, and a lot of the activity has started to wane, especially in LaFleur County, where those storms post up very quickly as that outflow boundary was a little closer. Now, I will still say I do think we need to monitor this area from Sequoia, northern LaFleur County, Sequoia, Adair, and then the rest of Northwest Arkansas for additional development as that outflow boundary continues to track. But again, the most notable and concerning area is definitely Madison, Carroll County, as well as Boone and Newton counties, as we continue to track this large complex of storms that's beginning to form across the area. Another thing I want to stress, we talked about this a little bit, Leslie, on Beyond the Forecast. We can pull the camera up. Another thing I want to stress here with these storms, you do not need a severe thunderstorm to cause problems. I think sometimes that can get a little lost with the severe weather aspects of storms. A lot of times, if a storm isn't warned, it's not necessarily taken as serious. It doesn't need to be 60+ mile per hour winds or gigantic hail to cause problems to your home, property, or even your livelihood. So just make sure you guys are staying weather aware, especially with these storms. They have a lot of lightning with them as well. So just remember when thunder roars to go indoors and just exercise your severe weather plans as we continue to track these storms. But thankfully, again, our most populated areas for right now, not necessarily seeing the brunt of these storms, but that does not mean we treat the storms any less important than what we're seeing right now. So if you live over in Harrison, especially Boone County, as that storm continues to grow in size and strength, actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that gets tagged again with another update. And we're also starting to see some of that storm move a little further inland, a little closer to Huntsville as well. That storm that is severe warned. So again, a lot going on here in the weather lab over the next couple of really ongoing, honestly. We're just keeping track of these storms over here. I'll go through some of the comments, give us a little bit of a breather, just so we can get our bearings on the latest details. We do have another newscast. I believe we do have the 7 o'clock.
We
right?
do have the 7 o'clock.
We do have the 7 o'clock this evening. So there will be another newscast in about 15 minutes that will start. And of course, I'll be giving the forecast for that as well. And then unfortunately, during the shows when we have the anchor in here, we'll have to be a little quiet, but we appreciate you guys for continuing to stay on the stream with us and just track these storms, and just make sure you're letting your friends, family, and loved ones know if any of these storms are impacting their area or will be, as we continue to show you guys the latest, that you let them know that there could be some nasty storms here in the near future.
Yes, and also just showing at Huntsville Airport right now, you can see the rain on the horizon.
Yeah, it's a lot closer than what it was.
Also heavy at that too, man. So that's something to keep in mind over the next few hours.
Definitely a lot going on. A lot going on here across the area. I'm going to try my best to get these radar images in place. I think I'm just going to do a hard reset on this entire data set.
You have to take care of your show, man.
Yeah, I'm just going to do a hard reset on this entire data set and just build a new one from scratch with Mega Doppler, because trying to find the perfect camera view for radar and then storms and whatnot is just, it's hard to do. So
also the camera views are not going to be as necessary as what you needed earlier, because these storms have moved and relocated. So I hope everyone is having a good Friday thus far, and I know there's people. First Friday is on the Bentonville Square that we need to keep an eye on. And what are you looking at?
So again, I call this the game of outflow boundaries. We were making jokes earlier.
Seeing another explosion.
Yeah, if you look, the storm that we're tracking over towards Harrison, it does have a little bit of an outflow boundary that's moving north. So portions of Berry County, there's another outflow boundary moving in from Springfield, moving south. Obviously, when two outflow boundaries collide, you get thunderstorm development, and we could see that across portions of Berry County, maybe even McDonald County, depending on how those boundaries interact. Still got a little bit of time before that happens, maybe about an hour or two. But again, the severe weather threat is not done here across Northwest Arkansas, at least the storm threat by the least, at the very least, the storm threat.
And so I think I could be able, because I realized with this one, I can see the outflow boundary.
Yeah,
so there you go. There is that one outflow boundary that we're talking about. Like you said, came off out of the cells from Carroll and Harrison. And
there's the other one.
Look at that one.
That's
so
strong.
these are if these two are to collide right here, matter of fact, let me try to get the pointer. I'm trying to find the pointer. There we go. This one collides with this one, we could see some storms developing in the middle. Now, the extent of how strong these storms are is yet to be seen, but some of that could be placed in Berry County. So something that we'll keep in mind for sure.
Yeah, could you want to loot that and see what it looks
Yeah.
like? Yeah.
So if I go ahead and like just, ooh, this is a fast loop. let me slow that down real quick. There we go. That's still very fast. Maybe if I put it to just like the last 2 hours, because I don't need all that time. There you go.
So again, yeah, so there you see the orientation. So one outfall boundary racing north, another one racing south. Usually spells thunderstorm development when they collide. So we may be watching that area. That would be, again, Berry County. Some of the same areas, like we said, that were hit yesterday.
From last night, yeah.
From last night, seeing
Harrison,
more storms,
just getting more rain. And if I move further south, there you go. Look at these outflow boundaries.
Yeah.
Now, I will say it's beginning to collide.
Yeah.
But those storms are not as strong.
Yeah, thankfully.
As you can see, there was one just east of Poto, pulsed very briefly, but it looks like it's beginning to die down now. I wonder if the environment out ahead will be supportive, which in a way is very questionable because a lot of that energy has already been taken by those storms out towards Waldron and through the entirety of Scott County.
Exactly.
So that's for Poto. Again, we're just keeping an eye on these outflow boundaries, but again, I will say if they're not doing much, that's good news. But again, we're still seeing explosions of these storms.
Yeah.
Now, if I go ahead and just pull it up on Mega Doppler real quick, we can just look at the storms. I mean, they're still producing heavy rain, I will say that. So that's something to keep an eye on. Let me go ahead and show that real quick. Heavy rain, pea-sized hail. It looks like the cell north of Ozark actually is wanting to paint anywhere from nickel to quarter-size hail, so something to keep in mind. I wonder if they'll say anything about this, and this is actually kind of like,
and it's very close to the radar.
Yeah,
too.
look at how it completely explodes.
Yeah.
So we'll get heavy rain with these cells nonetheless. But I will say not all of these storms behind the boundary have pulsed to severe,
which we're thankful for.
We are thankful for. We'll see how that continues to trend heading into Northwest Arkansas. But like you saw, the HRRR painting those crazy storms, and we see how these storms are behaving out towards the east as well. It looks like they shortened actually that severe thunderstorm warning, and they trimmed it a little bit so that it's still east of Huntsville. Let me go ahead and put back the Huntsville camera real quick to show you guys everything that's going on there. And let me try to move this camera a little bit as well. So there you go. You can clearly see where the downdraft is. Very clear, defined line between getting rain and getting no rain now.
These computers are having a workout with
Dude,
these storms.
These computers have been slow. And mind you, Josh Rugger, he already gave him a reboot this morning.
He did. It's just one of those days.
It's computers are acting like computers right now. Now, let me go ahead and see if I can pull up any other cameras for you guys real quick. Give me one quick second. I know if you joined us much earlier during the beginning of the newscast, we had, or the live stream, I should say, we have Rogers Pinnacle Parkway Towers camera, and it had the perfect view of the anvil. And now, of course, there's just clouds around, and the anvil remains to be seen. Also had Garfield Posey. There you go. You can still see some of those clouds off in the distance, but of course now that the storm has gotten a little bit farther away is not as impressive. Now give me one quick second while I adjust some of our cameras down in the River Valley so that we can give some love to the River Valley as well. Waldron, I don't know what I was going to say there, but Waldron, it has been raining around there. Ooh, cute little baby downdraft, if you ask me, from Waldron. So I'll go ahead and pull that up. There you go. There's your Waldron camera.
Brendan Wilson, I won't be taking any hail pictures because somehow it already melted. That's A-okay. I think that video was enough. And we thank you for sending that report in.
Really appreciate it.
That's exactly why we continue to work on 479WX. It's very useful for severe weather coverage because we can pass these reports on to the National Weather Service very quickly.
Yes.
And they can send out, of course, they can do their thing with those reports.
All right, so here's Waldron. right now. So far, a lot of the showers are beginning to dissipate across that region, which is honestly really good news. I'm not expecting much more around the Waldron region. Well, we'll keep it in mind because I mean, it's very interesting because we were expecting a different storm orientation heading into tonight, but turns out everything has been starting from the south and moving up to the north. It's actually been quite the opposite of what the models have been showing, but that could change heading into tonight as well. And then let me go ahead and look at the Alma camera too, because we do have those storms near the Alma camera.
There's a new severe thunderstorm warning as we talk.
No
So we have
surprise.
that's
So which
again some of the same areas as yesterday. So this is looks like 652. So yeah, that would be another updraft along this same clash of storms. So I'll switch to weather 2 really quickly.
Okay, yeah.
Show you guys what's going on. So this is another updraft from the same complex of storms over towards, I want to call this Omaha, but forgive me if that's wrong, but this is going to be extreme northern Boone County. They went ahead and warned this portion of the storms as well, as we're starting to see, again, 60+ mph winds and or quarter-sized hail with this storm. So I know Diamond City, you guys had a pretty rough storm on yesterday that caused some wind damage, and you guys could see another round of that as well. So definitely going to be pretty busy here over the next several minutes or so, especially as we're coming up on the 7 o'clock newscast. But again, if you're underneath any one of these severe thunderstorm warnings, just make sure you're staying safe and using your severe weather preparedness as well as safety precautions as we continue to track the latest.
All right, so we still have a couple more minutes before that 7 o'clock newscast gets put together. Davion will be the one in charge of that, and that's all I have to say on that. If you're just now joining us, Dan and Josh, our morning meteorologists, right now they are up at, or Josh Rugger, our morning meteorologist, and Dan Scoff, our chief meteorologist, are up at Bentonville for the first Fridays on the Bentonville Square. So if you guys are in the region, go ahead and say hello to them. They do have a tent, and I believe they are still there because I know that goes all the way up until 9 p.m. Now, in the meantime, Davion and I are hanging back at the studio as we continue to cover these storms. We knew they were coming. It was just a matter of when and where. And we have those answers right now, and just keeping an eye on what's expected or possible over the next few hours. But in the meantime, you can see Davion, he's trying to take care of a little bit of his tour that he's going to present for the show there. But if we go ahead, go back to Max 1, we do have Huntsville Airport pulled up, and you can see one side of the storms that have been popping up, just, I mean, a whole cluster of cells from Boone into Newton, as well as Carroll and Madison County. So let me go ahead and pull up Mega Doppler real quick so that you guys can get a good look at that. And like we mentioned, they did extend very slightly that severe thunderstorm warning, so that goes all the way up until 7:15 p.m. and the southern warning also goes up to 7:15 p.m. There we go. So the cell has been moving at 20 miles per hour or anywhere between 15 to 20 miles per hour. So it has been picking up a little bit of speed, which is good because when it was in Carroll County, it was stationary.
Check this out.
Oh,
it's that outflow boundary I was talking about. It's
there
the
we
area I
go.
circled. We're starting to see new development. Not strong just yet, of course, but that's the nature of these storms. This area has two outflow boundaries that are beginning to collide, and that storm already has lightning with this. This is right due east, or due west, I should say, of Fort Smith. So starting to see lightning with this cell as well. So again, severe weather threat not done as long as we still have outflow boundaries racing every which way across the coverage area.
Correct. All right, back to Max 1. And we can go ahead and play a loop of those storms as well from the river valley. And you can see as the outflow boundary comes through, you see these storms pretty much just quickly initialize, and it's updraft just there in no time basically. And so that's what we're seeing with that cell west of Fort Smith. So I could see this possibly impacting some of our commuters in the river valley, especially along Interstate 540 there. So something to keep in mind over the next few minutes, up to half an hour. Waldron beginning to see showers dissipate in the meantime, which is good. The severe thunderstorm warnings have dropped entirely for LaFleur County. However, it has moved to the south there, but I wouldn't expect any more severe thunderstorm warnings in the meantime at the current moment, just because that outflow boundary has already done its damage there. But we're still keeping an eye on these storms here.
Allegedly, I'll use radar for my tour in the full weather, and I'll just have you go through Mega Doppler for first forecast.
Okay, that works.
Thank you.
And before we switch on over to Davion covering for the newscast, and before we take a little bit of a break here,
Ozark.
look at that. Not even Ozark, but the one north of Mulberry. That popped up out of nowhere.
It's that outflow boundary.
And so you see where that outflow boundary is going. It's heading up towards the north here. So Winslow, keeping an eye. Mountainburg, keeping an eye. West Fork, Brentwood, along Highway 71. We're going to have to continue to keep our eye on this. Look at that other development just over Alma as well. So we're going to be seeing these storms popping up and make its way, this outflow boundary make its way up to the north. So Northwest Arkansas, we're not entirely in the clear, even though it looks like we might be, but we're just not right now. So there we go. If I go ahead, click on that, show you exactly where that's at. There you go. Ozark.
That's the one I just, yeah.
The Ozark, yep. So if,
I mean, it's.
I mean, I'm telling you guys, these storms, man.
When you know what you're talking about, it's you can see it.
Look at. Hold on. Let me pull up Mega Doppler for that.
Oh yeah, that's. Please show this first. Severe thunderstorm, Franklin County. Yep, that's that one. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not even going to. I'll show the Bentonville Square.
Tree down, blocking Highway 21 near Marble.
Near Marbles.
So
that's
thank
that storm.
you, Laura,
I got
for
you.
the report.
Tree down, blocking Highway what? 21.
Highway 21, Marble. All right, so we're gonna start switching over for the newscast, so Davion can show you guys everything. But give us a quick second. We will be there in just a little bit.
Proudly covering the Northwest Arkansas community. This is KNWA News at 7 on KXNW.
It has been an active Friday afternoon. Storms continuing to pop up, risk of severe weather and some perhaps flash flooding to go along with that. That's where we begin. Thanks for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Doug Warner. Let's check in right now. Meteorologist Davion Huggins. It has been nonstop for multiple hours now.
Yeah, it certainly has, Doug. We have been very busy. Me and meteorologist Celeste Castro here in the weather lab. Chief meteorologist Dan Skoff, as well as meteorologist Josh Rugger, are live at the Bentonville Square, where they are promoting some of our just branding as well as our content as we continue to try to expand our coverage. You can see temperatures outside at the Bentonville Square, 93 degrees, over 71 for your dew point. Still very muggy out there. But that air mass across our entire area has led to this. We've had numerous shower and thunderstorms that have been severe, some of which have been considerable tagged as severe, meaning they've had hailstones. We've seen largest upwards of 2 to 2.5 inches in diameter. We also have a new severe thunderstorm warning just to the north of Ozark in Franklin County. This storm has blew up here within the last minute or so, and you can see the hail size that Mega Doppler is starting to pick up on. That is, again, getting towards golf ball to hail size, and we're starting to see an outflow boundary race up northward from these cells into portions of Northwest Arkansas, where it could start to impact a lot more viewers of the coverage area. We'll have the latest details in your full weather forecast, but for now, Doug, we're going to send things back over to you.
All right, check back in with our weather team in just a moment. New details tonight. The wife of now former state representative Austin McCollum claims the alleged assault that led to his arrest and recent resignation was not the first time. These new details emerged after McCollum's wife filed an order of protection this week. A judge temporarily granted that order through August 25th. In a handwritten statement accompanying that order, McCollum's wife detailed the alleged incident that led to the resignation. She claims he threw items at her, beat her with a wire hanger, and restrained her on their bed with his knee to the back of her neck. She also alleges that when she tried to escape, he slammed the door on her multiple times on her hand. She says this incident was part of a pattern of abuse that included multiple instances in which McCollum choked her. This morning, we also learned that she filed for divorce. McCollum was charged with third-degree battery, aggravated assault on a family member, and first-degree false imprisonment. Now, while he has resigned from his position as state representative, McCollum remains on the ballot for Benton County Judge. That election is in November. Some Northwest Arkansas firemen back to work after returning from flood-ravaged areas of south central Texas as part of a search and rescue team. KNWA's Gabriella Phelan spoke with some of those firefighters on their experiences in the Lone Star State.
That one next to Ozark gotta have. He might go severe. Alma, start showing some cameras too. Mesoscale. Probability of a watch 5%.
Yeah.
Hail
Probably
and
waiting.
damaging winds will remain
Dude,
possible this evening.
Look at the echo tops from the Ozark one.
Yeah.
Compared to
It's a whole lot of 5%. Watch probability 5%. Can't make this up.
Does this look like 5 to you?
Check, 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 blah, blah, blah. Almost had a heart attack. Southern Washington and Aden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brendan, if you can send in some of those photos to 479WX, we would appreciate that. And also, Laura, your photos. Give us one quick second.
Castro and Davion Huggins took a closer look at last night's storms and why they packed such a punch.
Storm over in Kingston, while there was a little bit of circulation, it really shed its outflow boundary, meaning the storm collapsed. And you can see it on reflectivity, a very narrow line of reflectivity, which is not necessarily rain. That's what the outflow boundaries, you can call that a gust front. So the storm is collapsing, and as it's collapsing, a strong surge of wind is rushing out ahead of the storm. And you can see
And you can see how strong that outflow is down here
look
too.
At that. That's not rain, that's wind. So, and it's right when this is happening that Kingston, you get the damage reports coming out. So I think that's more so what happened, kind of straight line wind damage, but obviously it'll take a true survey to see, because with straight line wind damage, all the trees would be blown down one direction. So that would be your telltale sign right there. But with this being very localized as well, there very much could have been something other than that.
Same area under the gun right now. Of course, Davion's still tracking that. He'll have it for us in just minutes. You can watch Beyond the Forecast every weekday at 12:30 at 47.
built relationships with these folks who are calling them on the phone right now. And so they are on a first name basis usually and are able to just interact effortlessly and able to just work together to complete those applications.
And the deadline to enroll in free and reduced lunches is October 1st. Well, straight ahead, it's almost time to meet our pet of the week. Coming up, we'll introduce you to Armand, a pup who has had a rough start to life, but looking to pick things up, perhaps with an adoption. First, though, the weather alerts and alarms are still going off over there. Man, these storms just have no quit in them, Davion.
Yeah, they certainly do not. And here's the thing, there is still a favorable atmosphere across northwest Arkansas for these storms. This is our newest severe thunderstorm warning that just came out. It goes until 7:45 p.m. and that has, again, quarter-sized hail with those storms as they continue to track those. I have the latest details of what you can expect throughout the rest of your evening and heading into the weekend in your full forecast in just under 10 minutes.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Ozark Mountain Roofing. Integrity first, protecting what matters most.
Okay, guys, quick break right now, but we are back on. So give me one quick second. All right, so let's get to talking. So far, that's what we got. New severe thunderstorm warning for the same cell out just north of Ozark. If I go back to Mega Doppler, give me one quick second as I pull up that Mega Doppler. There we go. Let's go ahead, look at exactly what this warning's for. So far it's moving 50 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, as well as quarter-sized hail. So there we go. There's the hail. Looks like it may have dropped some of that already and is moving out towards the east and now into Johnson County. So far, that cell to the west of it, north of Mulberry, has been producing a lot of heavy rain by the looks of it, but hail has not been looking impressive with that cell. So just keeping in mind that all the cells are going to be interacting or behaving very differently from one another, but we'll see if the one north of Mulberry ends up getting the same characteristics as the one north of Ozark. And with that, I mean hail as well as more damaging winds. We did see that outflow boundary continue to pass through. Did spark up that new cell north of Cedar. So actually I could try to pull up Dripping Springs right now, but let's just say the view is not necessarily all too good right now either, because I mean it's been shrouded by clouds, especially closer up. So that's what we have right now going on down in the River Valley. And then up to the north, we're still missing our Harrison Gaither camera, unfortunately, so we can't see any of the cells happening towards Boone County. So let's see, Brendan, you said you posted pictures to 479WX. Let me go ahead and see if I can. I think I said 47. No, I said 479.
Yeah.
I don't know, something. I almost tripped up.
I know, right?
It's been a long day having a talk, but yes, you said you were able to. So if I go through some of the reports here right now, which I'm trying to hover over and see which one it is. 21 minutes ago. I don't think it's any of these. I know it's none of those. Maybe if I zoom in a little bit more here, 42 minutes ago. Which, by the way, Laura, this photo that you posted was just
coming in
impressive. But we'll talk about this in a little bit. Davion's going to be coming back with full weather.
Certified most accurate by weather rate.
It's safe to say it's been very active across the weather coverage area over the past several hours. We were tracking some showers and thunderstorms that blew up looking off to the south on our Mount Magazine WeatherBug Network camera. But that was just the starter course of what was to come as we continue to look at storms here, there, left, right, up and down all across our viewing area. This is a live look from our Huntsville Airport WeatherBug Network camera where we saw a very strong thunderstorm that was putting upwards of golf ball sized hail down within the past hour or so. So here's a live look at Howell Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. We're continuing to track some storms, severe thunderstorm warnings over towards Boone and Newton counties. We'll give you a radar tour of some of this, but you see those reports that we're talking about. Alexia, you can go ahead and bring up that hail video that we saw that came out of portions of, this would be portions of northern and southern Madison County as well as Carroll County a little earlier this afternoon, where we saw a lot of hail coming out of some of these storms. You can see Brendan Wilson sending in pictures of some trees that were down as well. So again, a very active weather pattern we've had over the past several days. So we'll give you a radar tour now of what's going on. So live look, this is the radar over the past, looped over the past couple of hours or so. You can see we still have those severe thunderstorm warnings for portions of Boone County. We also have we had another severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Madison County. And you can see those are going to be running. It looks like those maybe have dropped off within the past couple of minutes. So we're thankful of that. These storms have been behaving very pulse-like, so where they pulse up and then they come back down. Flash flood warning, although the storms have passed, of course, water can still take a little bit of time to travel downstream. There is terrain involved in this area, so if you live in a low-lying area, definitely want to make sure you're using precaution and getting to higher ground, as flash flooding from those storms a little earlier could be ongoing or starting very soon. We also still do have a severe thunderstorm warning that we showed you just before the break. This goes until 7:45 p.m. and we're talking about quarter-sized hail with this cell, as well as 60+ mile-per-hour winds. This is in Franklin County, just north of Ozark. And a lot of these storms, they're not moving very fast, and that's why we've seen some of those flash flood threats grow and the concern over the past couple of hours or so. We also have another strong cell just beside that that we were continuing to look at. So here's what's going on. This outflow boundary that you see that continues to race towards northwest Arkansas, it continues to have a lot of energy associated with it, and it's allowing new thunderstorms to spark off, and we've certainly continued to see that. You can see that cell that fired off from that boundary passing through just to the east of Fort Smith in extreme southern Sequoia County. That was a cell that sparked off from that outflow boundary. And here's the thing, that outflow boundary is continuing to race north, now getting into portions of Washington County as it goes up against some of the Boston Mountains. So it's very likely that we could see some showers and thunderstorms develop across portions of northwest Arkansas over the next hour or so. And the concerning thing about that, of course, we have the Bentonville Square that's live with people right now for the first Friday. But another thing is it has not rained in northwest Arkansas all day. So the atmosphere is a little untapped in terms of energy. So any of those storms that do fire off, like we've been seeing, capable of producing, we should say large hail at this point, nothing small, about 2 inches in diameter. So that's certainly something we'll continue to monitor. Of course, flash flood risk does exist with any slow moving storms, which all have been. And we'll show you the computer models, even though they're not perfect. This just gives a general idea of what's happening. Showers and thunderstorms continuing or expected to continue across the area over the next several hours before it finally starts to wane, I think, as we get past midnight. So a lot going on here in your Weather Authority team as we continue to track the latest storms. Of course, we are live on stream as well. Always tough to do streams as well as cover storms in the middle of newscasts, but I think we're growing at a skill up that's been several. We've seen that happen a lot of times here across the area. So nonetheless, as we go throughout the rest of the overnight period, those storms will start to wane, thankfully, but we could see a lingering shower or two tomorrow morning. And then after that, we'll crank up the thermostat. Temperatures in the upper 90s to near 100 degrees for northwest Arkansas. And in the River Valley, get used to the heat because it's going nowhere. But I do think the weather pattern will go a little more unsettled as we head towards late next week.
Posted on my Facebook page a little while ago, somebody who lives there on Gaither Mountain, from their back patio, just the biggest rain shaft just pouring down, just to have that kind of view, hopefully not without the hail.
Yeah, and get this, we lost that camera. We don't have it anymore.
Well, let's make some calls and get one on her back patio. Yeah. She's got a great view. All right, straight ahead, we'll meet our pet of the week, Armand. Keep it here. Oh, by the way, too, if you think you've got the cutest pet, can't forget this. Just prove it through our pet contest, cutest pet contest, knwa.com. Look for the Clear the Shelters tab. Click the cutest pet contest. See how simple that was? And it will take you right to the submission page. While you're there, you can check out a map of various shelters participating in this year's Clear the Shelters event and find out how you can help out. Keep it here.
That's good.
Okay, guys, we're about to, we're in another break, just trying to capture our breath between shows. But here's a good look from the RDOT iDrive network actually, and right now you can see how wet and slick the roads are. There's not a lot of people traveling on it by the looks of it, but this is along Ozark. So just keeping in mind some of our travelers to just be careful.
I-49, just I-49 just to the east of Mountainburg. That cell looks like it's trying to move over towards the interstate, and if anyone's traveling in between Alma, Mountainburg, and Winslow, that certainly could be a little bit of a problem here in the next few minutes.
So right now that's dry, but I'm sure that's going to be looking very different. And then if we also look at another Mountainburg camera, there you go.
There you see, yeah.
Very dry. Very, very dry. I can actually try to pull up Cartwright. So
yeah, so if you're just now joining, we are in the middle of a newscast, so a lot of the times we have to duck out on sound as well as just talk quieter, just because we've been back to back to back with newscasts, but still trying to cover a lot of these severe thunderstorms. So there have been times where we've been quiet and then times where we've picked up volume. That's because we're in and out of breaks or in and out of the forecast. And we're coming back into the newscast here very shortly in about 15 seconds or so. So we'll likely start talking a little quieter or just go off and give you guys the radar.
So I'll go ahead, pull up radar. I'll do a radar tour, but just on mute. So give us one quick second, guys.
It's been a very active evening here across Northwest Arkansas and in the River Valley. So here's a live look at Mega Doppler. Here's what's going on, the latest details. We still do have that severe thunderstorm warning that's heading into portions of Johnson County now. That storm started off just north of Ozark and now is continuing to push off to the east. So the good news is we're starting to see more of an easterly component with these storms, whereas
They
a
were
little
just hanging
earlier,
out for a while. Yeah.
they were just sitting there, and some were actually tagged as stationary at their peak. So we're thankful that these storms are starting to get a move on. But again, we're still tracking the possible for redevelopment, especially across Northwest Arkansas, where it has not rained yet. So that means the environment is untapped. So if that outflow boundary makes it there, we could see additional development. But as we go throughout the rest of this evening and into the overnight period, we'll start to finally quiet down, maybe a lingering shower or storm or two throughout the early morning hours tomorrow. But then we'll crank up the thermostat as temperatures climb into the mid to upper 90s with a little relief from the rainfall. But it'll be back by the late portions of next week. And you can see in the River Valley, we'll certainly be welcoming that because temperatures not leaving the 100-degree mark over the next several days.
All right, if you're getting the rain, enjoy it now. Hopefully it's not coming down too quick and too fast for you. We'll see you tonight at 10 o'clock. Have a great rest of your Friday night.
But I was typing away as we came out of that. Finally in a break.
We're back. So now we have a longer break all the way up until 9 p.m. And what do we have at the current moment is really good ideas. So again, let's do another restart and show everyone exactly what is going on, because Davion is trying to send some of those reports to National Weather Service. So thank you, Brendan, for sending especially those house report damage in, or the damage in the tree reports in. That way we can send it. So if anyone has any damage reports and if you have photos you would like to pass along, just post it onto 479WX, and that gives us the opportunity to share it directly to the National Weather Service partners, and they can add that to their database. So that's the information I have on that right now, but let's get back into giving you a look at Mega Doppler and what's expected across the region. So far, Harrison is finally out of the rain for now. Saw heavy rain in Boone County, and a lot of that has now begun to move to the east. Also seeing some more rain in Newton, so Jasper, you guys are getting the brink of it right now. If we look at hail so far, maybe up to pea size in some areas or dime size. Looks like a small little portion of the cell, the cluster of cells that we are seeing in Newton County showing up to quarter size east of Weathers. So just something to keep in mind. If we move farther south, we are still beginning to see additional development.
Is that marble or mulberry?
Mulberry? What are you looking at?
I was looking at the
So as I was saying, along Interstate 40 could be seeing some slick roads. If I go ahead and pull up a camera near Cole Hill, look at that heavy rain. So a lot of commuters are dealing with that at the current moment. So of course, make sure to drive slowly if you catch yourself under a storm in this manner. So if I go ahead, take that off, and we continue our tour here, Ozark cell has been producing hail for quite some time, up to quarter size, and even between maybe up to golf ball and head egg at times. So these storms keep pulsing, and they kind of stay sustained for the most part, at least that Ozark cell has been doing so, and that's why you're seeing that. The mulberry cell has not necessarily pulsed too severe, but don't be surprised if that ends up being the case down the line. But again, a lot of these storms have had their own behaviors. Waldron, Scott County, a lot of those storms have since dissipated. LaFleur, barely seeing any rain at any given point in the area. Fort Smith, look at that cell. That cell died before it got to Interstate 540. So you guys are actually in luck for the most part, but I would assume there's still some because it's very close to the radar. So if we look, yeah, no, that's relatively dry if you ask me. Maybe a couple of drops have been felt, but I think you guys got lucky, which is honestly really good news. So that's what I have for Fort Smith. Not much to report for you guys. Now let's look at the Cedarville cell that has been making its way to Interstate 40. Look at the Frog Bayou Bridge. That thing has been getting rained on. So again, Interstate 49 beginning to see some of that rain, and that outflow boundary is still moving up to the north. So we did see some of that development towards Natural Dam. It looks like there might be another development just south of Winslow and east of the Devil's Den State Park. So Right now, we're getting a good look at the tunnel tower camera, not seeing anything too impressive there, but something to keep in mind as that cell begins to develop could cause something along Highway 71. So a lot of people have been asking about Northwest Arkansas, and let's just say right now it is quiet, but you are seeing that outflow boundary moving its way up to the north. So that's something we have to keep an eye on because that could initiate more storms. We are already beginning to see more development once more in Madison County, however, over at Japton. So if I go ahead and take the Huntsville Airport camera, I think the tower is going to be in the way. So yeah, I'm not even going to try because the tower is going to be in the way of that, unfortunately, as it continues to initiate. But yes, Northwest Arkansas so far in the clear. However, we can't necessarily say that's going to be the case for the rest of the night. I'll show the future track here in a second. Look at this line of storms beginning to pop up in southwest Missouri and along northeast Oklahoma. Looking at the trajectory of that thing, could make its way down into Berry and McDonald County if they continue to stay sustained. So something we're looking at right now at the current given moment. If I look at the Tulsa radar, so excuse me while I switch radars over here real quick so that we get a better idea of those cells. Yeah, those are baby cells right now, but they are just beginning to develop. So something we'll continue to keep an eye on. And of course, you get a good look at the cells down in the River Valley as well. But so far, so quiet along the Bentonville and Fayetteville, Springdale, wherever you are in Northwest Arkansas, that area is. But if I go ahead, so Brendan, yes, it did. I was able to pull it up. However, it was kind of hard to pull them all up because I think you had your exact location on, but I was able to pull up those reports, and I think I was able to show some of it during the commercial break that we had or when we were on air. But yes, we were able to pull it up right now. Davion's been able to send that into National Weather Service, so thank you for sending that in. Rogers needs rain so bad. I know some areas have been seeing rain, but others not so much. I'm sure over the last few days, there's someone out there that has not seen a single drop of rain thus far.
Yeah.
Is Rogers, Arkansas going to have some storms? So let me go ahead and pull up real quick HRRR 18-hour, the one that updates hourly, just because I think let's just show everyone what it's still showing. My goodness, man.
Yeah, so finally out of the newscast, of course, meteorologist Wesley Castro giving you guys the latest details. I was sending in those weather reports that you guys sent to me into our National Weather Service office in Tulsa. Just passing along the info, always good idea to do that. So thank you guys for sending in any weather reports you may have as well.
Yes.
Yep, so she said, yeah, we'll get those LSRs as well as we can.
All right, so the future track right here still showing storms firing off. I mean, right now those cells are already passing through Newton County, so I will say this is a little bit behind on time. I mean, saying out of the region by 8 o'clock, or not even later than that for like Boone and Newton County. Right now, this is showing a lot of development over Madison County, so I wonder how this actually plays out. Because I will say these cells, to an extent, besides what's happening across Newton and Boone County, these cells have been a lot more isolated in nature rather than necessarily widespread. So this is showing a little bit more of a widespread mode. We'll see how much that comes to fruition. It's still showing some cells over the Northwest Arkansas region heading into beyond midnight, but just barely now.
Yeah, looks like it's starting to get an idea that, hey, maybe the bullseye of storms already happened.
Yes.
Hopefully that's the case.
Hopefully that's the case, and maybe Northwest Arkansas, which even though we need the rain, Northwest Arkansas does not see severe storms. Now, speaking of severe storms,
and there's a new one.
North of Clarksville, guys, in Johnson County. I'm looking at it right now.
It is.
Or for Franklin, hold on.
As we speak. It's that cell.
Wait, so there's two right here. I'm confused right now. So 7:33, there was actually one 3 minutes ago that for some reason did not go off.
Yeah.
So we have one in Johnson County, and that is north of Clarksville, and then we have another one about to pass Cass. So that goes all the way up until 8:15 p.m. and wind speeds up to 60 miles per hour, hail size up to 1 inch. I mean, it tried. and it is certainly trying right now. So if I go ahead and look at how fast the storm is moving, it is moving at 15 miles per hour. If I look at the one in Johnson County, that is also moving at 20 miles per hour. So for the most part, a lot of these storms have been slow. And with that does come the concern for heavy rainfall. Now, we do see that flash flood warning that did go out between Madison and Carroll County. That's still in place all the way up until 9:15 p.m. because they did see anywhere between 1 to 3 inches in terms of rainfall rates. If I pull up the precip accumulation, because I can show you guys that right now, it was reading closer to 5 in some areas. So there you go. You can see that right there. If we zoom out a little bit more, north of Jasper has also seen, or northeast of Jasper, I should say, between Highway 7 and 74 has seen some decent amount of rainfall as well, and also north of Piercetown there. If we move farther south into the River Valley, along Interstate 40 there, that does become a concern, of course, with that heavy rain. It is still raining west of Clarksville, actually. So if I go back to the radar, actually, matter of fact, let me go back to Mega Doppler, but what were you going to say?
I was going to say, get this, there's another cell that popped up, very weak for right now, but another cell that popped up in the middle of Madison County.
Yes.
So that outflow boundary is continuing to race off to the north. Honestly, it's about to be here through our station within the next few minutes or so, as it's now in Washington County and southern Adair County, continuing to race off to the north. So we'll see how it behaves, but definitely colliding with another piece of energy. And that's why we also have a new cell that's just to the north of Cedarville and just to the west of Mountainburg. That is a new cell as well. So again, these storms are certainly going to be possible across northwest Arkansas here in the next couple of hours. So we don't want to say the severe weather threat is over, or at least the storm threat at the very least is over, but certainly still, for right now, we're still quiet, but definitely want to make sure we're keeping our guard up and letting everyone know that the potential is still there for storms to fire off in the next couple of hours or so, and they may pack a little bit of a punch across northwest Arkansas. But we say that not to scare you. We've seen what the storms have done elsewhere across the region, so just making sure we're staying on top of things in and around that.
Yes.
And man, so I'm glad we're in a break now.
Yeah, it was kind of
talk.
hard since 5 o'clock, because I think we started around 5:30 actually, and it's just been on and off between the shows and here, and now we finally have the time. Yes, the picture of the power line and trees did go up, Wilson, so I'll show that here in a second. But yeah, that's what we have going on.
Yep. So I was sending in those reports. Thank you, Wilson. I sent your reports specifically into the National Weather Service office, and they're working on getting those. They're confirming those as we speak. So thank you again for sending those in. It's very important we pass along the information to the National Weather Service offices that cover our regions, because that's how they confirm, of course, anything that's going on with the warnings and stuff. So it takes a village sometimes when you're covering storms, and we appreciate you guys. Again, never compromise your safety to send in weather reports. Always make sure you can do it from a safe distance or a safe area. But again, thank you guys for sending that in.
Yes, correct. And I can pull up Mega Doppler real quick.
Yeah.
There you go.
30 minutes ago. So that was the storms. And I mentioned Mulberry. I meant that was Marble. That's where it's at. So I mentioned the wrong city, but I corrected myself in the chat. So again.
So far, let's look at some of the cameras that we have across the region, because it has been some time. We've been moving these cameras back and forth very frequently, to say the least. So if I go ahead, look at Alma. So I'm going to try to go back and forth between some of these cameras right now. So we have Alma. And if I point Alma, let me see. I'm trying to configure myself in a way so I can look at both the radar and exactly towards Alma. So actually west of Alma, guys, Alma is about to get hit with heavy rain here. So if I point this to the west, yeah, there's all that looming to the west of Alma there, and also right over. So Alma is about to see some rain here very soon. If we go towards Mountainburg, which Mountainburg should already be facing to the west. Give me one quick second as I pull that up.
Right.
There you go.
And there it is. Look at that base. Very, very tiny, very tiny cell, but definitely starting to strengthen.
Yes, exactly. And let me see what other cells I can probably pull up cameras for I'm almost about to get shrouded in rain here, so we can only use it so much. Huntsville Airport, unfortunately, that is going to be blocked by.
Did that
tower.
iDrive camera that you brought up earlier, did it get impacted by the storm, or was
The
it
Frog
missed?
Bayou one?
Yeah, was it missed?
No, it did get some rain, but
some
it didn't
rain.
look crazy heavy,
Didn't
I
look
will
crazy?
say. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
So sad we cannot pull up Harrison because oh wait, no, it's back up now. Of
So look at
course,
that.
it decided to come back up after the storms. Ooh, hold on, guys. I actually have something for
Oh, look at that.
Da 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 da.
You got-
Harrison came back. Ooh, look at the
I was about to
Mamadas.
say you got Mamadas clouds
You got
and a rainbow.
Mamadas, guys. Whoa, hold on.
Talk about coming back with a bang.
So if you guys are in Harrison, you guys are getting one view right there. You got your rainbow. Thing probably goes. Ooh, and you got your lightning. Dude, this is one heck of a camera shot.
Man. What a
But you
sell.
could see it's like a wall of rain. You can't even see beyond the wall of rain just because of how heavy it's been over there. But guys, we got Mamadas.
And those storms, so we got storms that are moving off to the south and storms that are moving off to the northeast. So portions of Newton and Johnson counties could get it's already getting loud, but if it's not raining by you just yet, especially if you live in between Jasper and Ozone, which is a little bit of a smaller town, but if you live in between Jasper, Ozone, and Ozark, definitely could get loud here within the next few minutes, several minutes, as those storms continue to move off to the east northeast. There's so many different storm nodes and storm directions.
Yeah.
It's something. But yeah, we send those reports into the National Weather Service so they always can verify the storm warnings that they're issuing. It helps with their forecasting as well. And of course, should a storm do damage like how it did, it's good to pass along that information, especially if the storm is still ongoing, and that helps them issue better warnings for that storm or for future storms.
Mm-hmm.
So again, Northwest Arkansas, we're quiet for now. Specifically speaking, portions of, really Carroll, Benton, and Washington counties hasn't done much. At least Carroll, the storms have moved out. You guys certainly had your fair share earlier, but now we're starting to see, some of those outflow boundaries race up a little bit further north. That could spark some new development. Got another report came in from the WAP. Another report that came in says my camp host at Ozark Campground in Newton County is reporting trees down, lots of limbs down. Thinks there may have been rotation. I don't think there was rotation for that, but definitely some strong winds.
Yeah, there was no rotation, little to no rotation that's been associated with some of these storms. And I check in from time to time just to get a good look at that. But a lot of, again, just keeping in mind that straight line damaging winds can do nearly the same amount of damage
as a quick spin up tornado. So
yes,
that's why we always want to make sure. It's been such a long time. I'll just show full web. It's been such a long time since we've shown our faces. Obviously, it's been pretty busy here in the weather lab within the past 2.5 to 3 hours with storms that are firing off east, west, north, south, really just everywhere, if you want to name it. Obviously, for now, and we're thankful to Bentonville Square so far, but going on, we're getting close to 8 o'clock, and so far,
let's show the Bentonville Square real quick.
Yeah.
Let's show everyone
going on
exactly
without a problem. And
yeah, I haven't heard anything from there, so I'm sure it's still. Yeah, look how packed. Let me take the camera off real quick. So give me one quick second.
Having fun in the sun.
A whole lot
at the
of
Bentonville
fun.
Square. I know, right? Check that out.
There you go.
Love seeing that. So, again, Northwest Arkansas, pretty cool. Yeah, this is a cool comment. Is that Mamatas? But yes, those are Mamadas clouds, or Mamadas clouds, however you want to pronounce it. But yes, those clouds next to that rainbow. That's exactly what you're seeing. Pretty cool shot here from our Gaither Mountain Harrison.
I haven't seen any of these in quite some time too.
Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't seen a rainbow that. Well, no, I'd say 2 weeks.
Like the other day.
Yeah, when I said
the other day.
I don't know, right?
When you get all these isolated cells around sunset and you're just in the right position, you're bound to see a rainbow.
Bound to see something.
And there has been plenty of those, I feel like, depending on where you are. But yep, there they are right there. But yeah, Bentonville looking great. Bentonville Evening Star. I mean, you would look at this camera, you would not even tell there's severe weather going on. That's the crazy part to me.
I will say.
And then
right
you go to
now-
Alma and.
So believe it or not,
Okay.
right now,
Mm-hmm.
as we're speaking currently,
Mm-hmm.
there's only one severe thunderstorm in our area.
Yes.
And it is this storm in Franklin County, northeastern Franklin County, just south of West Cobb, but it's likely going to hit you guys here within the next few minutes. Let's see if I can get the information on there. There we go. So this storm goes until 8:15. This severe thunderstorm warning. It's a base one, so we're not talking about some of the gigantic hailstones we saw a little earlier, but definitely still don't want to treat this as nothing. But 60 plus miles per hour winds, as well as some quarter-sized hail possible within the core of that storm. There are still other thunderstorms that are not necessarily severe warned, but still, of course, very noisy just off to the east of that in portions of Johnson County, as well as portions of Newton County. Newton County, Jasper, the heaviest of the rain is starting to push off to the south of you, and it's heading over towards Limestone. Waiting, you guys are seeing the worst of it. Moray, you guys are seeing the worst of it. Moray, I should say. Forgive me, but Mount Judea, I want to say. Forgive me, butchering the names. It's been a long, it's been a long day. But again, these are some of the areas that were hit yesterday pretty hard. We Deer. This is an area that we were watching out for pretty closely yesterday.
Deer, man.
So again, summer. A little bit of the higher terrain elevations, a lot of rainfall in the valley areas could cause some isolated flash flooding. Even if it's not necessarily warned, just make sure you're taking precautions and using storm safety. River Valley, you guys are finally starting to quiet down, at least south of I-40 for that part, especially portions of Logan. Scott County, there are still some isolated showers. LaFleur County, all the storms went bye-bye. There was like 3 storms lined up north to south in LaFleur County, and they're all gone. So we're thankful for that. So right now, along and north of Interstate 40 is the main concern for right now, with the immediate threat or most concerning threat as of right now being Franklin County.
Yes, and now it kind of becomes a waiting game to see this outflow boundary come into Northwest Arkansas and see will it do anything.
This comment is
What
is
cloud?
that what clouds? So they're called mammatus clouds.
Yes.
That's how you pronounce them, mammatus clouds.
And so how they're formed, it's basically like they say like little pockets of cooler air within the clouds, and so they kind of hang a little bit because, as you know, cooler air is a little bit denser, so it kind of sinks down, and so that's why you get that very distinct pattern. So it's still going on, and my goodness, man, that camera.
This is just a cool shot.
Of course, it was gone when we needed it most.
Yeah, because why not?
It was
Right?
going
Why
through,
not?
when there was severe thunderstorm warnings and some big old hail around Harrison. But you know what? I'm glad that it's back and that it's providing us one beautiful scene, man.
Yeah, that's certainly a cool shot.
It kind of shows you how big these cells are too, because I really only see mammatus clouds like this with some gigantic cells.
Usually it takes a pretty strong storm to cause it. Also, you notice those outflow boundaries that you have on Max too, not necessarily causing a problem for Berry County. However, just to the south of Joplin, this is just outside of our coverage area, but if you have any family that lives in extreme northeastern Oklahoma, over towards the Miami region, definitely seeing their fair share of showers and thunderstorms develop over the past several minutes or so, past 30 minutes or so. There you see what we're talking about. We pointed out those 2 outflow boundaries a little earlier. Thankfully, they've been pretty tame once they met. Most of the storms formed off to our east as well as northeast and off to our northwest. But still watching some storms because some of those could begin to move off.
I would not be surprised if the cell
what you're seeing
in Newton County gets look at the.
Yeah, that's pulsing up. And again, I was mentioning, once those cells start to get a little closer and interact, we'd see something. Leslie, you pointed that out too a little earlier this evening, several minutes ago. So again, and just off to the south of that, you still have that severe thunderstorm warning in Franklin County.
And so I do want to go ahead and kind of pull up. This is actually being viewed from Tulsa, so a little bit of a better view for some of the cells out towards east of Miami and heading into Neosho, out of our coverage region, but so far these cells are not looking as spectacular. We'll see
Nice.
if they continue to pulse up.
We have a viewer from there, Neosho Goodman, Missouri here, seeing storms and hearing rumbles, but no activity yet.
Let's
Cool, yeah.
go.
Yeah, so you
Perfect
guys
timing.
over towards Neosho could get a little noisy. Within
will
the next
get
couple
noisy,
minutes.
yeah.
It'll get noisy. It
Heavy
looks like
rain.
there is some heavy rain, maybe some small hail right there. Not severe warned just yet, but of course wouldn't be surprised if that changes.
Yes.
Also wouldn't be surprised, like you said, Alexley, if that storm goes severe over towards Johnson and Newton County as well.
Yeah, Alma region. Looking real quick back at Alma. Seeing rain on the roads, no doubt about that. Interstate 40, just take care of yourself. And also, if you just live in the Alma region. However, if you look one camera over, Arkansas Way Station looking beautiful, closer towards Van Buren. And meanwhile, honestly, I don't even think Van Buren and Fort Smith necessarily got to see rain. There was a couple of drops in Fort Smith, but like nothing that necessarily impacted the roads. I mean, this looks relatively dry if you ask me. And there was a cell that did pop up west, and as you can see, just kind of died down altogether before it could even reach. Now, Alma, of course, seeing that rain traveling up along Interstate 40, so this is just something to keep in mind for anyone who's driving home at this time from work or from the grocery store, wherever it may be, or if you traveled up to Northwest Arkansas and you're now making your way down, or flip-flop if you work down in the Fort Smith region and you're working your way back up into Northwest Arkansas.
So they're continuing that storm until 8:15 for northeastern Franklin County. That's severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay. So they extended it?
Yep.
Okay. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, quarter-sized hail. We'll probably see the extension of it pretty soon here.
Wow. What a past 48 hours for our friends in Carroll, Madison, Boone, and Newton counties. You guys have had some strong storms over yesterday evening and this evening.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me go back to Harrison. It's a little bit quiet right now, given that we've already gone through. And
They cropped that warning even more.
Those beautiful clouds are not as pronounced now. You can still see some on the backside towards the left of this camera, but that rainbow is still going as well. Almost as if it never rained there, but we know that's not the case whatsoever.
I know this is out of our coverage area, but of course, sometimes we get our viewers in and around our coverage area.
Yes.
I can show this really quickly. Again, this is not in our specific coverage area or demographic region, but if you have any friends or family that live northeast of Branson, over towards Garrison, Bruner, heading towards the Springfield area, a pretty strong thunderstorm that's considerable with 70+ mile-per-hour winds with that storm. But I just wanted to touch on that. Again, that's not a threat to our area. Still very quiet here in Northwest Arkansas, but southern Madison County or Washington County, Winslow, those storms are starting to get into Washington County. Not severe, but at least storm activity. Of course, it doesn't take a strong storm to impact your outdoor plans. So that's something we're watching. This is the new cropped warning from that storm over in Franklin County. Very small area, but West Cobb, this is like literally right on top of you. It's Beech Grove, West Cobb. The storm is impacting you guys, 60+ mile-per-hour winds, and the hail size has come down significantly. It's not even at a quarter size anymore, probably about nickel size now, it looks like. However, that area over just east of that, though, that election you just
that's
looked
some
at.
heavy rain there. I wonder if how the wind gusts are with that too.
Yeah.
And what the recordings are, but that rain is still very much going. And we're about to see some cell interaction here, which should be interesting, which you actually have storm relative velocity pulled up right now, which is honestly, we're just seeing the intersection of these two cells, and I also have it pulled up on Mega Doppler so that people can get an idea of exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So we get a better view.
Yeah, way better.
Way better. Whoa. So we do have that cell that did pass over Jasper. Our Newton cell is moving to the southeast, and we have our other cell that would move through Ozark earlier and move through both Logan and, sorry, I'm almost blanking out, Franklin and Logan counties, and now that's making its way up to the north, and so now we're going to see the intersection of these two cells, and there you go.
You know what I love about this? It shows the human side of us. I think I called almost every single. Sometimes there's a little bit of a buffer when you're going back and forth, especially when you're live on TV and you're calling out counties.
even though they list a storm right there, and look at that. There's that would be the area we just called out.
Warning.
Can you tell we know what we're talking about?
Newton County, yeah.
All right, so let's get
There
you
you
right
go.
to it. Get you right to it.
So let's give you the information you need to know for that. It's moving
I have it on max 2 as well.
20 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and quarter size hail radar indicated.
So that's the area that we were talking about literally not even 25 seconds ago. I'll go back to Mega Doppler. Leslie, it's on you. You can see what's going on. See if you see any rotation with that.
Nah, velocities are. It's just a good clash. Also,
Oh.
look at the echo tops. I
Look
just
how tall that
accidentally
is.
clicked on that, but these echo tops, man.
50 to 60,000 feet. Yeah, strong storm like that.
That'll
yeah.
do it. And so,
Thankfully, it does look like that. Whoa. Yeah, thankfully, it does look like that cell interaction is a little maybe destructive and not constructive in terms of rotation.
that's
but
what I would assume.
Yeah, still gonna watch it closely here. Just got a heat advisory alert.
Heat
I think that's the
advisory.
least of our concern right now, unfortunately.
We already knew it was hot.
Expiring
anyways.
at 8, yeah. So that's our newest. So we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings now across the coverage area. I'll go to radar so you guys can see what we're talking about. So this is the newest storm. This severe thunderstorm warning lasts until 8:30 p.m. This is going to be for extreme southeastern Newton County, although it is storming across almost the entire central and southern portion of Newton County, as well as into Johnson County, over towards Orezone, northeast of Clarksville. Some pretty moderate to heavy rainfall happening, but that core that you see that's west of Limestone, that is the most dangerous area of this storm as it continues to drop 60 plus mile per hour winds and or quarter sized hail. Still have this severe thunderstorm warning likely going to expire here very soon. The hail core seems to have come down with that. Less than quarter size. Could still see some 60 plus mile per hour winds as that pushes along. What's that? Is that Highway 215
Yep.
in between Ozark and Cass? So that
Ozark.
Oh yeah! Oh my goodness!
Not
completely completely added a new a different
Oark.
letter. Oark and ozone. Yeah. Wow. Look at that. I've talked a lot over the past several hours, but yeah, make sure you guys are staying safe. Yeah, that doesn't look impressive. I think that warning will be dropped off here pretty soon.
Peanut.
There are a lot of small town names in Northwest Arkansas that
That's
we haven't
actually
even seen
funny.
yet.
Peanut. I think that's the first time I've seen Peanut.
Yeah,
actually.
it is. It is.
That's so funny.
Peanut. That's south of West Cobb,
You're like
Beech Grove, Yale.
Ozark, but the Z removed, so we get Oark and then
know, right?
Ozone and now Peanut.
There it is.
Just
Okay.
a fun time.
So Peanut, the heaviest of the rain is right on top of you guys as we speak, moving over towards Yale. These are some getting into some of the farm roads, very rural areas over here. Not Ozark, but Oark and Ozone. Oark, you guys are pretty quiet, but that rain could make it over towards you, but likely going to be a little sub-severe. So this looks like the most dangerous storm in our coverage area as of right now with this severe thunderstorm warning in Newton County. Man, what a mouthful.
Yeah, so far it's not
Not looking impressive.
but just still keeping an eye on it just in case, because you
Yeah.
never know how these cells can interact.
Pretty strong winds at the very least, even if it's not rotation. over
Oh,
towards
yeah.
here. So zoom in. I'll show you actually. Mega Doppler.
There you go.
Again, not seeing rotation, but definitely some strong winds with that
Maybe
cell.
up to closer to 60 mile per hour.
Yeah.
Especially just west of Deer.
And that is
And over
just
Limestone,
outside
too.
of the area of the
So
warning area.
maybe and it's been a little bit fast around the Deer area
Yeah.
too. So
Definitely make sure you guys are bringing in any
hail
loose
has
furniture
dropped down
items.
significantly. However, wind gusts are definitely still going, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This cell interaction will be interesting to watch over the next several.
scans.
Yeah.
But as we wait, still have that flash flood warning looking up towards the north there, because
Yeah, I had our viewer that I'll take any rain I can get. I believe it's the same person. Yeah. Probably starting to see some raindrops now, getting a little close to Neosho, especially on the northeastern side of the city.
yep, it's kind of
But
interesting.
for the most part,
yeah.
as of right now, I don't want to jinx it, but that
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. But that outflow boundary has moved through portions. It's continuing to work through portions of Washington County. There has been some development from that over towards Winslow and extreme southern Washington County. But for the most part, the outflow boundary has been quiet in Adair. It hasn't done much in terms of northern Washington County just yet, if at all. So maybe Northwest Arkansas dodges, and the first Friday at the Bentonville Square can go on without any hiccups
Just
for the
keeping-
next hour. It's already lasted throughout majority of the storm coverage.
We'll just see
activity.
how these cells
Interact
along
and-
Interstate 40 behave and interact with one another,
Yeah.
and would probably set the scene for what we could see closer to Fayetteville
Yep.
as well. So I'm looking at the cameras and
Got
so
a question
far
about
yeah.
Mountain Berg. So yeah, they're showing that right now. Mountain Berg.
Speaking of which,
Yeah, so Mountain Berg is about to get a little rainy for you guys.
Yes.
Not a severe thunderstorm warning, but of course still a thunderstorm. So make sure you're getting indoors. Some small hail likely with this, but again, probably upwards to dime to nickel size with this storm. Not seeing any definitive hail core looking at reflectivity with that, but definitely an expansion between cells from Winslow down to Rudy. Looks like a little bit of a line trying to form as cells continue to pulse up. But again, this area sub-severe for now. Hopefully it stays that way, but definitely getting a little noisy along Interstate 40 and I-49 where they connect over towards Alma. Alma's likely rained out right now. We actually have a camera. Let's see.
oh yeah,
Alma's right
I had it
underneath
pulled
this.
up.
And yeah. Yeah.
That's some rain for you
Yeah,
guys.
so this is a live look at Alma High School from our Weather Plug Network camera. Again, you can see the wind's not necessarily a big story here, obviously shrouded in rainfall, but this is one of those cells that we're continuing to watch. And I'll go back to Mega Doppler just so you guys have a view. Never lose sight of the radar for right now. And
This is actually Future Track, which is fine.
Future
I'm
Track,
having
yeah.
it up right now so that people can get an idea of what's possible. So here's what we got. Here's what the Future Track HRRR is still looking at.
Mail it in.
Which is like, storms have already passed through a lot of these regions, so
Mhm.
I could imagine instability is not as impressive.
In
So the
fact-
fact that it's still showing those storms to explode, which first of all, those cells are already entering Jasper, Johnson County, whatever you name it, and cells have already passed through there. So I feel like it's a little bit delayed. Like the
Yeah, I
HRRR is
think it-
trying to paint a picture that is basically already happening, and
Yeah.
that's my main concern.
I think you're right. I think it is a little delayed of what's going on. And of course, with all the rain and thunderstorm activity, like you said, we're starting to lose instability. We're starting to lose daytime heating.
Yes.
By no means is it cool, but it's not. It's a far cry from where it was. We have. Let's just compare temperatures. I'm looking at right now, 72 on our Harrison METAR and 89 at Drake Field. So that just shows you where it has rained already. There's not much of a
The severe potential is
Yeah.
just done for, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, as we continue heading into, I mean, this is still painting storms even after midnight, but mostly for our eastern viewing region.
Yeah.
But if we're eating up all that instability,
Those storms will be
So-
sub-severe if they hold together
yes,
with the lack of
and then
instability.
it's not showing anything. Let's just we have plenty of time. Let's show the graph. Of course, the graph is going to show something when there's actually rain, but it
Yeah.
shows it dissipating entirely by 10 p.m. But graph also has this lovely idea of wanting to kill off storms as soon as they can. And then, oh my God, I forgot we had the soundboard.
Yeah, if you guys, you think they picked up on that?
Oh no! Wait, hold
I'll
up.
say it again.
Hold on. I know exactly what you got to do. Let's try this one more time.
Yep.
All right, try now.
All right. So the graph was looking at some of those storms dying off pretty early. Our reaction.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. We're not mad at that at all.
We got a soundboard now, guys.
right?
So be prepared to be sick of us.
Yeah. Well, when the weather is a little calmer and we're on live on
Yes.
stream, yeah, prepare to be sick of us with the soundboard. Unfortunately.
So right now
Switch you over to
they actually canceled that Jasper severe
That's
storm
severe
warning.
thunderstorm warning?
Yeah, if you look at Mega
All right.
Doppler, That was quick, if
Yeah,
you
it was
ask
quick.
me. Hold on, let me
Quick-
go back to it
Quick
real
cell
quick.
interaction. That's all it took.
Yeah, that thing is already done for, and as you can see, that they were like, oh, well, never mind.
All right, well, here's what we'll do. We'll, yeah, this will be interesting.
Oh, that's absolutely nothing happening right now. Just heavy rain south of Jasper in Johnson County. Again, northwest Arkansas, just not a peep.
Not a peep.
And then those cells around Miami and Neosho, they are slow moving, I will say. So I'm curious to see how these storms begin to pan out.
And yeah, that'll be interesting too. That one has a special weather statement tag on it now.
Okay.
Over towards Peoria and extreme. That's like as far northeast in Oklahoma as you can get.
Okay. Yeah.
It's tagged for 40-mile-per-hour winds, no hail. So
No hail.
probably a little noisy for our friend over in the Neosho. Any of your family members out as well.
At first, I thought it was Dan in the background. So we recorded our anchor, our Fox 24 anchor, Josh, and we were because he always says that in the
he always
studio,
says
and I was like, Josh,
need that.
come record this, and so that we can put it on the soundboard. And so, yeah, now we have his voice on there,
Yeah, running
as well as a
joke.
couple of other things. But yeah, not wanting to necessarily downplay any of the storms. Of course, you're going to be seeing heavy rain in some regions, but I mean, winds are not strong at the given moment.
Yeah.
Hail right now, the main concern was definitely in the Marble area where we were seeing possibly up to hen egg or golf ball size.
Yep, I'm trying to look at the latest from Tulsa.
What they say?
It looks like isolated to scattered storms continue across eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas this evening. Stronger storms may produce, of course, damaging winds, large hail, and heavy rainfall. But it does look like for right now, they do have a special weather statement tag still on that
Crawford County?
Yeah, Crawford County storm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everything is sub-severe for right now. Likely stay on. I do want to just watch that cell interaction a little longer.
Yeah, I think at
But-
most we might give it up to the 9 o'clock show, I feel.
Yeah.
And if literally nothing has happened by then
We'll be able to
drop off, I
drop
think.
off. But of course, for any reason whatsoever, if anything pulses up after that, we'll
Which
just
let
come
me
right back on.
kill off some of these lights actually so you can see us a little bit better and turn on these because
It's been a while.
no one's been in the studio for quite some time and we think the lighting's better from here. There we go.
Boom.
Not being backlit as much anymore, but
What a Friday.
what a Friday, yeah. On top of yesterday too.
Yeah, I mean,
I put my hands up, guys. Wait, let me see if I can stop it. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
I'm not putting my hands up anymore. No more jazz hands.
what a Friday. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like it's always live during the newscast. It's either newscast or when we're recording a newscast that the storms decide, okay, yep, that's when we'll go.
And again, the case where typically a lot of these storms like to happen sooner rather than later.
Mhm.
Time and time again.
Yeah, because
Just
we had our
always happens.
severe risk. I mean, a lot of the models, there were ingredients about that at least, where timing was some of the storms could last all the way through midnight, still packing a punch. Starting to see a little lull in activity. Of course, we don't want to drop our guard down. There is still storms out there.
Yep.
Again, we always sub-severe doesn't necessarily mean it can't cause problems. But for right now, looks like the peak of the activity has started to wane here.
Yeah, that
Thankfully.
Carroll County cell, man.
Yeah, that was that Carroll County. Yeah, northeastern Madison, southern Carroll hit pretty hard over the past 48 hours, and yeah, continuing to see that. Yeah, this is Alma rained out. Cooper.
Just cloudy. Well, yeah, Bella Vista, cloudy. Evening Star Elementary from Bentonville, looking great.
Something I'm curious about.
Hazy sun, no doubt about that. Still probably some smoke off on the horizon, but we've been so busy with storms. Whew. Man, do I wish I was there. But probably not during the middle of the afternoon because temps did climb up to the 90s. So I will say that at least I'm in here, but still bustling. Thankfully, they were able to continue their first Fridays on the Bentonville Square because these models were painting storms as soon as 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
across Bentonville, Fayetteville, and none of that has happened just yet.
Yeah. I was looking at power outages on the Power Outage USA.
Yep.
Very isolated in nature. We saw more power outages. It's funny. You could argue that some of the storms, some of the storms, it depends. Some of them had a little. I think yesterday had a little more stronger winds. Today it was more of a. I think today's hail threat was a little more.
Today was definitely a hail threat. I
Yeah.
forgot that one's
So
down.
very isolated power outages. Not seeing much on the power outage tracker, poweroutageus.com, but there are at least some power outages across portions of Carroll, Madison, Boone, and Newton counties. But again, we had almost 2,000 customers without power noted yesterday. We're far from that across our coverage area today. Not even, I wouldn't even say near 500 for right now.
And that one's also down. Here's Grab It.
Yeah,
No,
so, I
nothing
mean,
going on for Northwest Arkansas.
Depending on where you live in Northwest Arkansas and what direction you're looking, you probably couldn't even tell it stormed today.
And I forgot that's being blocked. So unfortunate. The sun is finally setting in Huntsville, and it's practically gone.
Said it's windy in Rogers. With my dog eats some ice cream. Alpha Boundary, it's not really doing much anymore.
Whew. Look at the sun sitting perfectly on the horizon there.
Mount Mag.
Also got Springdale that has a good look at the sunset there too.
Nice.
Tawny Town Grape Festival was also spared. I forgot that one's also
Yeah,
down.
yeah, that was a multi-day festival there. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So that was spared as well. So we're thankful.
So yeah, for anyone who had Friday night plans, at least in Northwest Arkansas, you guys were okay. Fort Smith, for the most part, you guys were actually okay.
Yep.
Look at
that storm.
That's from.
I mean, sheesh. That is
You can see it from so far out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Alma.
Nothing.
Hold on.
Any other cool cameras?
I think I had all the cameras pulled up. Let me try to fix Huntsville though.
That storm.
Sequoia. The clouds are rolling in.
I was gonna say that storm over towards Mountainburg and just north of Mountainburg, Chester, right along I-49, has been tagged with 40-mile-per-hour winds and about nickel-sized hail in the strongest core, and the strongest core looks to be right over Chester. So just make sure you guys are continuing to just stay safe and stay indoors. Again, sub-severe, but still a notable thunderstorm for right now, with some small hail as well as some gusty winds.
Whew, look at this scene. Still seeing the sunset off in the distance despite it raining right over it. It's actually
such a cool shot.
So yeah, this is just south of exactly where that special weather statement was at.
Yeah.
And so you could see
so yep, there it is.
Up to dime size hail for the most part.
Right over Chester.
Look at that rain.
There's an iDrive camera right there.
Velocity. Oh yeah, we do.
I wonder what this will look like.
Boom.
Yep. We pulled this camera up earlier too.
Yeah, we did. It was absolutely dry, and now we're finally seeing that rain. But as you could expect by this time, 8:14 p.m. in the evening, not a lot of people traveling out on the roads. However, if they are going to be experiencing some heavy rain in those areas, and you can see how much has rained there by that car driving through and kicking up all that rain too. That one also has their emergency lights on, without a doubt.
Yep.
So yeah, that kind of lets you know the scene of what's going on over there.
Still monitoring that cell interaction. Not seeing anything alarming, but definitely some stronger cores of winds over towards that cell. That was briefly severe warn north of Clarksville. That was in portions of Johnson County.
Mm-hmm.
That was an area that we were watching. Not looking impressive.
No. So where's that?
That's just to the east. Those storms off to the east.
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to take this off. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at the cell interaction. Yeah. Some very broad rotation, but again, this radar beam is getting a little far. That's why it looks a little convoluted.
Yeah.
But still closer technically.
So just keeping an eye on that, seeing what happens.
Again, that would be moving out of our viewing area if it stays on that track here pretty soon. So yeah, there you see. Yeah, not really alarming.
Very broad.
Yeah.
Very, very broad. Back up to the north, Neosho, but just
That's
west
better.
of it, Seneca.
Yeah. I
North
wouldn't
of
be
Seneca.
surprised if yeah, that could go. I think that could go.
Yeah. It's right there, but then again, just outside of our coverage region. And as you can see, the cells to the north of that so far. Not very impressive. It's just that one cell.
Just looks like rain from now.
Mm-hmm. Do you notice all the warnings have been dropped?
All warnings have been
All
dropped.
warnings, just a flash flood warning that goes all the way up to 9:15 p.m. Last I checked, I believe.
Yep.
Let me go ahead double check that information for you guys. 9:15 p.m. because they saw anywhere between 1 and 3.5 inches of rain that fell in that area earlier, and in some localized areas even more than 3.5 inches.
Yeah,
so
I was
I'm
gonna
sure the people up there had quite an event.
I'm going to pull up some of the estimated rainfall. Obviously, this isn't perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, our northeastern coverage area, it has been quite the past couple of days. Precip totals, well, yeah, that'll do it. I'll run a precip query real quick. Jasper, 9, 4.6, Harrison. There you can.
Waldron still seeing baby cells, but of course nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Seeing some reinforcement of some of those cells, or more development, I should say, but
Yeah. Here's
ooh, there's some lightning off in the distance with the Waldron.
Yeah.
Cam, yeah.
Rain curtain. Here's a look at some of the estimated rainfall from the model or from the radar from today. And you can see with those storms, especially in southern Carroll County and in northern Madison County, upwards of 1 to anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of rain, reading about 2.5 to 3+ inches of rain over towards portions of Harrison and Boone County. And check out Newton County as well. A lot of areas picking up on a good amount of rainfall. So certainly been a wet one over the past 48 hours or so. A lot of rainfall, of course. And that's certainly something we'll continue to monitor. I'll bring got Mega Doppler up there, I believe. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, because right now I'm looking at Cartwright and man, are they getting poured on over in Mountainburg? And I can show that real quick to the masses. There we go.
So again, if you're watching now, a little more laid back compared to what it was earlier because the storms are starting to lose their steam.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, all severe thunderstorm warnings have been dropped across our area. So that's something we'll continue to monitor. Still have a pretty notable storm over Mountainburg that we're looking at right now, but nothing very impressive in terms of what we were seeing a little earlier this evening.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at the other cameras too and seeing what else is possible for us out there.
Now I'm going to take a look at the environment as it is right now, because a lot of our area has been overworked in terms of storms.
Yes.
Yeah, we're starting to lose some of that upper level support. The entire region is slightly capped, if not notably capped across the area. Yeah. I think our severe weather threat is beginning to
which
wane.
Is really good news.
Yeah, which is good news.
I'm gonna go back to Mega Doppler real quick, just because we haven't really spoken about lightning.
Yeah.
Since middle of the day, you can't really see a lot of it, but those cells between Johnson and Newton County, look at all the lightning with that.
As of right now, yeah, probably. We could do like it could be like a recap first weather, not a. Yeah, and the storms have been dropped.
On the radar, but
in fact, we're about to shut this down pretty soon. Okay. We'll probably be done before. We'll be done before 9 because all the warnings dropped, and they've been dropped for about 10 to 15 minutes now.
Okay, so we'll still do one then.
Yeah.
A lot of lightning with that one.
Yep. It's a lot of lightning. So here's what we're going to do. Obviously,
we'll do one last. I'll let Leslie do one last radar tour. You know,
Honestly,
she was kinda
I
just doing
think
one.
what we can do is we can leave Mega Doppler up for an additional 10 minutes and we'll go on mute. However, during that time, if new warnings do come about, then we'll let you know. But if there are no additional warnings within the next 10 minutes, we'll shut this down at 8:30.
Yep.
And we'll give you the radar tour then. So let us know what you guys think. Actually, we'll leave this running for another 5 and then do one quick radar tour and then close it at 8:30 even.
Yep.
That way you guys can go on with the rest of your evening. So, yeah, just stay right there if you guys want one little thing. Anything else for Harrison? Still waiting for the Hannah Harper concert. They are waiting for lightning to clear. There is no lightning in the Harrison. Actually, let me pull this up real quick. I mean, depends on how far you're talking because there is that tiny little
Tiny
cell,
cell,
but
yeah.
it's moving southeast by the looks of it too. Stationary but southeast, so Harrison might actually be in the clear if no storms begin to initiate in this area.
Right.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead, take 5 minutes of a little break, and then we'll be able to drop off from the live stream after we give you one final radar tour, guys. So we'll be right back in a little bit. All right, guys, we're doing one final Mega Doppler tour, and then we're dropping off because Dan, or not Dan, sorry, but Dan is still First Fridays Bentonville Square. Davion is going to be taking care of the 9 o'clock for the most part, as we're waiting for these storms to move out of the region, but we haven't seen any severe thunderstorm warnings come about these storms. And the storms up to the south or up to the north, very slow moving. Going to keep an eye on that, but they haven't necessarily warned anything for that, especially when it went up to quarter size earlier. So it's already dropping out by the looks of it.
Yep.
So that's north, closer to Neosho, just north of McDonald County. Tiny little cell in Pineville. We'll see, or that continues to pop up. But of course, Davion will take care of that during the 9 o'clock on Fox 24.
Starting
And then,
to see a little pop up over towards south of Fayetteville as well too.
yeah, southeast of Fayetteville. There you go. So we're just going to continue to keep an eye on these storms, just off live stream, because we know people are doing their thing. It's Friday night, and Davion has to get ready for shows. This cell is beginning to move out of Johnson and Newton County. Finally, still has a lot of lightning associated with it, so just be careful. Also, that cell east of Mountainburg producing some lightning as well as heavy rain. Keeping that in mind for those who live in that area. And then, of course, Scott and Logan County, or not Scott and Logan County for the most part, is chilling. Yeah. It's south of Franklin County where they do have a little bit of development still. So just something to keep in mind, but it looks like nothing necessarily severe. Then another tiny cell just north of Fort Chaffee. But that's it, everyone. We're going to finally drop it off. Thank you for tuning in to our live stream. We know earlier it was a lot with the newscasts going on top of that monster of a cell in Carroll County. But thankfully things have begun to die down. And as always, keep up with us on social media. Meteorologist Davion Huggins, meteorologist Leslie Castro. Davion, also tune in and watch him for Fox 24 News, and also on the weekends, of course, because you take care of the weekend shows too. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it that we have to say. Yeah. Everyone, stay safe.
Stay weather aware, stay safe.
And of course, Davion will continue to keep you updated on the newscasts if anything else begins to develop, but we'll keep a close eye. Things are beginning to die down, and that's very great. So thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you around.
See ya.
We're trying to figure